Hey, everybody. I can't believe that I'm the one breaking this, but Aaron Rodgers is going to be a New York Jet. Zach Wilson is most likely going to the Seattle Seahawks, and Russell Wilson will be playing for Green Bay by the beginning of the 22 season. Find out how I know this and where I got the information right after this. A 1-15 team takes a running back. You just took your franchise quarterback. You had a running back. And I'd be pissed if I was a Jacksonville fan. I love that talking about Green Bay. He'll never find out. Believe me, nobody knows better what it looks like when an organization is about to go to shit than a New York Jet fan. And Justin Fields proved that he can hold it together. He can regroup. It's okay if he struggles. And we got a big game against the Eagles, and maybe you need some energy, so wake up! We have every right to expect the Jets to win. Rich Samini, schmuck, putz. All right, so let's get started right away. Okay, I want you to know that Green Bean has shaved his beard as well because he is so just distraught that I got this news before him. Ryan, Matt O'Leary, they're all scratching their heads. Jets Media, Jets Central, they all can't believe it. They can't believe that I got this information before them. Let me tell you what's going on, okay? Aaron Rodgers is going to be a New York Jet. There's a 90% chance that this is reality, okay? Why? Because I just decided to say so. Let me explain. We've been sitting here and telling you for a year not to believe the media, the beat. We tell you about clickbait. Well, this is what this was. It was to show you that just because someone says something doesn't mean it's true. It's because they want you to click on their links. So last week there was an article about Aaron Rodgers becoming a New York Jet and that the Jets were the third most likely team to sign him. It's clickbait. It's to get you to click on their channel and give them the attention that they want. That's what they're trying to do. Yes, I had something to eat, Jets mess. And no, it wasn't hot sauce, Jude. What it is it's an example of clickbait. It's to get you to click on their links. Okay? Now, I didn't do it to get you to click and come onto this channel. I didn't do it so you would set to watch this video. No. I'm just trying to prove a point. The point I'm trying to prove is that it's very easy for guys like Rich Samini and these guys in the media with the name ESPN next to them to say anything they want to say and cause whatever controversy they want to say. And people believe it because it's in print. So when you looked on it, do you know what Tom Bon Jovi did today? Tom Bon Jovi was at the park having the time of his life with his kid. And all of a sudden, he looked at his phone just for a second, and he saw a notification on YouTube, and he looked at it, and he saw Aaron Rodgers, 90% chance to become a Jet at 1 o'clock p.m. today on YouTube, or 4 o'clock his time. So you know what Tom did? He pulled the picnic blanket out from his kid and his wife. He threw it in the car. Food went flying everywhere. He threw his kid into the baby seat. He didn't even buckle it in right. He's starting the car and he's racing home. Driving home full speed, right? So we can hear more about this story about how we're getting Aaron Rodgers, right? Just because he saw it on YouTube, okay? Rusty Spooner stopped watching tape. He was trying to find new diamonds for the show. Watch who canceled a meeting with the Virginia Jets fan club because he saw this. Jude had a Lego set. He was about to build a record-setting Lego set with 1,000 pieces. He was about to build the Millennium Falcon. He threw the whole thing over the air and it shattered. Even Gitmo Bob was like, what's going on here? He couldn't believe it. And they came, and everybody came running. And then what do we do? So the point of this is it wasn't to get you here. It wasn't. I'm not doing the clickbait. I wasn't trying to do that. No. If I was trying to do that, as Green Bean would say, that would make me an asshole. I wasn't doing that at all. What I was trying to do was I was trying to make a very good point. Okay? The point is, look how easy it is to make people think that Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Jet. Look at the controversy. Now, can you imagine if you're DJ Bien and you have the power of the Daily News behind your name and you get to just say whatever you want and anybody believes it? This is why we cannot believe the media, okay? We cannot trust the media. You cannot trust anybody. You can't trust anybody. You can trust me because I would never do that to do that. I'm doing that to teach something. This is a teachable moment. That's what we call this, a teachable moment. It has nothing to do with wanting views or getting you to come onto my channel. Nothing to do with that. Why would I care about that? This has to do with making a point that you can't believe the media. You got to listen to Matt O'Leary and boycott the beat. Buy his shirt now. Don't buy his shirt. You know why? Because when I get to 300 subscribers, I'm going to give you one of his shirts. I'm going to give you a green bean shirt, and I'm going to give Jets 24/7 shirt of your choice. And when I get to 500 subscribers, I'm going to give away 5 boycott the beat shirts from Matt O'Leary's site. So look, I'm not one of these sites that's going to get you all here and start talking about promotions. Like, I would never do that. I would never talk about what's going to happen and what giveaways I'm going to give. I would never do that, right? I only talk about real news, things that are factual. You'd never see me with a headline that says, Russell Wilson wants to be a Jet. That's never going to happen here, okay? Never going to happen. You're never going to hear me say something like, Zach Wilson took his last snap as a New York Jet, right? That's not the kind of thing we do. We don't do that here because we are the YouTube content providers. We're here to talk about real things. Real things. Like when someone says that the Jets are the most third likely team to get Aaron Rodgers, a real YouTube content provider comes on and says, bullshit. That is just total bullshit. We are not, by any means, getting Aaron Rodgers. We have our quarterback. Zach Wilson is our quarterback. What kind of stupid person writes an article that says the Jets are the third most likely team to get Aaron Rodgers? That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. The dumbest. And it makes me mad. So here I come, and I come on to tell you, again, not wanting you to click on it. I didn't want you to. I wanted to have 0 people to say, look, good. We are making a difference with Boycott the Beat. They said we're going to boycott chaos because of that nonsense. That was my hope. But it didn't happen because everybody is just believing this nonsense of these people putting out these articles and allowing it to create these conversations that we shouldn't be having. I will give away a tin of those wafers, mess. I will. I'm doing that for 400, okay? 400 subscribers, a tin of those wafers that I have from the Asian market, okay? That's official. Let me tell you about all my promotions, right? Because I'm the promotions you should be listening to. Like my promotions you can listen to because I'm not the beat. I didn't bring you here to talk about my promotions. So because of that, I'll talk about my promotions, okay? Remember, 60 more subs I need. Get to 300. I give away a shirt from 3 different sites. All your favorites. The Boycott the Beat from Matt O'Leary. The Green Bean Ain't No Happenstance shirt. He has a different one too, I think. What would Green Bean do? I'm trying to convince him that on the back he should put draft a tight end. And the third is Ryan, who has like Wall Street Wilson shirts and all kinds of good stuff. Okay. Then at 400 subs, just decided in this moment, thanks to Jets Mess, I'm going to be giving away a canister. I'm going to send you a canister of wafers, like those round wafers filled with cream in the middle, coffee flavor. It's a giant freaking bin of them that never runs out, unless you're me. I mean, it's just endless. You could eat them for an entire show, entire football game, okay? It comes from a Chinese market, like from an Asian market, Ranch 99. You're going to get that shipped to your house from me, and you could be like me and eat those wafers, get really fat. It's fun. It's fun. Okay, 500 subs, 5 Boycott the Beat t-shirts. It's not just that, though. I'm going to eat more hot sauce and do another draft. So I'm going to be in more pain. I'm going to give away t-shirts. And guess what? If I get to 500 subs by March 31st, are there 31 days in March? I'm not sure. It's not a trick. Maybe March 30th, I don't know. But if there's 31 days in March, March 31st, if Jude is here, he'll know because he's, those shows like Are You Smarter Than the Fifth Grader? Kids know this stuff, okay? So anyway, if I get to 500 subs by March 30th, March 31st, however many days, the last day of March, we'll just say that, the last day of March, on top of 5 Boycott the Beach shirts, on top of eating a hot sauce that's going to put me in agonizing pain while I do a draft, I am going to donate an extra $100 to St. Jude. That's where all the proceeds for the Boycott the Beach shirts go to, St. Jude. So I'm going to throw another $100 on top of it if I get to 500 subs by March 30th or March 31st. What does that mean? That means when you go into other people's chats, if you care about the kids that benefit from the St. Jude charity, you'll go on and tell people, go to NFL Chaos with Jeremy and sub. We need to get to 500 so we could get 5 t-shirts and $100 on top of those proceeds to the kids at St. Jude. So go out there in the world and let people know. Tell Matt O'Leary during his shows. Go on to that Tuesday show with the panel of Ryan, Matt, and Greenbean. And in the chat say, hey guys, why aren't you talking about getting money for St. Jude? All people have to do is go to NFL Chaos with Jeremy and hit a freaking button. The sub button. That's all you have to do. If there's thousands of subscribers. Ryan has 20,000, 16,000. Matt O'Leary has 10,000. We can't get to 500? Get me to 500 subs so I can do something good. Empower me to help the kids of St. Jude. Then I get a community thing where I get to do community announcements like Aaron Rodgers is coming to the Jets, 90% likely. I could do that on a community announcement if I had 500 subs. There's so many things I could do. But here's the big one, okay? Most of you that are here are big fans of Green Bean Jets fan. You watch his channel all the time, right? He has a Patreon feature, okay? He has 3 levels. One is $5 a month, one is $10 a month, and the highest level is $25 a month. Now, that $25 a month Patreon membership gets you all of the things the other thing does. You get to talk to Green Bean on Discord. You get to watch football games with him on a private Zoom. All these cool things. You get to read his, see his podcast before everybody else and comment before everybody else. You get all these cool features. And on top of it, for the $25 one, you get to do a guest appearance on Green Bean Show. Okay, so it's the coolest thing. You are a prime prioritized member of the Green Bean Jets fan channel when you pay the $25 a month to be a Patreon. Now, let me get to my point. When I get to 1,000 subscribers, in gratitude to Green Bean, because as you all know, he put me on his show originally. I wouldn't be here if not for Green Bean, okay? And I'm someone who appreciates that and shows my gratitude. So what I'm going to do to help his channel and to help him build up that Patreon is I'm going to provide 1-year membership to Green Bean's highest tier 3 Patreon, okay? So for a full year, I'm going to pay the costs of that for you to have the membership to Green Bean's channel. And that's going to be raffled off to, now, how many people go to my show? Now, think about this, people. Wink, wink. I'm going to give it away on my show. So it's not like 1,000 people have a chance of winning. It's whoever goes and watches my show. So if there's 50 people, you have a 1 in 50 chance. If there's 30 people, you have a 1 in 30 chance. Because guess what? I don't play this game where I don't give the prize away because the person's not there and they never find out about it. That's not how I roll. There's going to be a winner. I will keep picking, or I'm going to do it as a random number and only the people in the chat can guess it. So somebody in my chat is going to win. Okay? Someone's going to win. So, I mean, yeah, Green Bean's the best. Who doesn't want to be a $25 a month Patreon member for Green Bean? You get personal time, small group time with Green Bean. It's awesome. But let me tell you something. I'm friends with Green Bean, and he is as awesome, just like personally one-on-one talking to him, as he is when you're in the chat with him, okay? This guy is never not being funny. He's never not busting balls. He is like, ask anybody that's even in his $5 a month Patreon, which you should do in the meantime. It's on Discord with him. He is always entertaining all the time. This will bring you closer to him, get your views from him heard on and commented on. You should all get me to 1,000 views, and I am going to be thrilled to give somebody that gift. But hey, at 500, we're going to give some money to St. Jude. Don't forget about that. We're going to give some money to St. Jude at 500 subscribers, $100. If we get there by March 30th or March 31st, if it exists, if there's such thing as March 31st, we're going to do that. And we're going to give away 5 Boycott the Beat shirts, which is probably going to raise about, I don't know, the proceeds are probably about $10 a shirt, something like that. So we're going to give a good amount of money to St. Jude. And each individual person, it's such a little effort to hit a subscribe button. And my content is getting better, so I hear. Nick Rougeau said that it's good and that I'm important in the Jets community. It was a very nice compliment. And it's true. It's good stuff. You get to have your Sunday interrupted. For a second, you thought we might get Aaron Rodgers or that I had lost my mind. Maybe I ate some shrooms by accident. Jets mess could see that happening. Someone throws a slice of pizza and throws some crazy mushrooms on them. And before I know what happened, I ate like a pound of those mushrooms because I inhaled the pizza. I mean, these kind of things happen. So anyway, that is what's going on. What, Miss Bilbo, what's going on here in the chat? I don't even know what you guys are talking about. Clever Lang. 30 said Bane. Creepy voice for a St. Jude ad. Anyway, here we are on a Sunday and we have no football. Doesn't that suck? Okay, what's this? Billy SBC says that Aaron Rodgers is 90% certain to be dropped by new girlfriends, I think. That's good. Yeah, coffee. I know, right? Well, what happened was, you know those impulse buys? Well, I was on the aisle about to pay, and I'm holding all these like gummies, like the Japanese gummy candies that are so good. Like I got all this candy from the Asian market. My wife sends me in there when we're at the vet because it's in the same shopping center. So I run in there, I'm just grabbing all this candy, right? All this like candy from Asia, like all this cool stuff. They're like, those gels that they have, they're so delicious. And while I'm online, and there's no bigger sucker to the impulse buy than me, as you guys can imagine. So when I see this big bucket for like $8, I mean, it's this big bucket of thin wafers. It's like just endless. I'm going to overlook the fact that it's coffee flavor. I mean, I try to convince myself that was a cool thing. I said, ooh, and it's coffee flavor. Different. I like coffee. But I knew deep down that there's nothing worse. There's no worse flavor it could have been than coffee. Any flavor would have been better. Vanilla, hazelnut, chocolate, coffee flavored wafers. But you know what? Whoever wins at 400, if they have a different flavor cream to fill that wafer, when I go back there and I look in the aisles and everything, I'll get you a better flavor. If they have it. Or maybe it's funnier to just send you the coffee cream. And maybe I'll give you a guest appearance on the show eating them because Mess would like that. He likes to watch people eat. Yeah, there's no football. There's only the Pro Bowl, right? Which is not football. I would prefer that they just replay the dodgeball they had yesterday. I'd rather watch them do dodgeball, swimming competitions, play a game of softball, joking around. I'd rather watch them do that than play the Pro Bowl, which is just, it's like nonsense. It's tackle football, but it's like a two-hand touch pickup game. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, they're actually still doing that. Because the one thing they probably all agree on is we're not going to do anything that can get anybody hurt, which means they're not going to really play football. And I don't blame them. You're going to get hurt. I mean, you lasted 5 minutes trying to watch it. Check it out, man. You've been here longer than 5 minutes. So I'm more entertaining than the Pro Bowl. That might not be saying much, but it's something. I think that's gonna be the new thing on my website, like part of the advertisement, like in the beginning. So I'm gonna put words on the screen. More entertaining than the Pro Bowl. As a matter of fact, let's do this shit. Let's do this right now. Entertaining in the Pro Bowl. Okay. Scroll across, add banner. Okay, now how do I make it work? Show. Okay, there we go. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Pro Bowl does have cheerleaders, though, Jeremy. Okay. I mean, are you saying that I have to get? I mean, I could play like show YouTube videos or something of hot women jumping around. I am no cheerleader. That's true. I mean, I could wait. Hey, all you New York Jet fans, let me hear you clap your hands. Now that you got the beat, let me hear you stop your feet. No, that's not the same thing. So anyway, Aaron Rodgers is not going to be a Jet. Russell Wilson is not going to be a Jet. None of those things are going to happen. I don't care who says it. Don't believe them. It's not going to happen. We're not trading our 10th pick of the draft for Riddler from Atlanta. Connor Hughes? That's clickbait, people. That's so everybody knows his name. Either that or he's really stupid. Because to believe that the Jets would take their 10th pick of the draft overall, a pick that could be used on Wilson, Traylon Burks, Olave, a pick that you could use to take a young, free wide receiver. I mean, cheap, on the cheap, where you control their contract for 5 years. And you'd say, nah, I'd rather let's take the player. Let's trade that pick instead of taking one of the top wide receiver in the draft, instead of taking one of the top premier receivers in the draft that we can control for 5 years. Instead of doing that, let's take the receiver who on October 31st stopped playing even though he wasn't injured. People say, well, he had mental health issues, Jeremy, personal health issues. Exactly. And why wouldn't that happen if he was a Jet? Okay, he's back. He's back in camp. We traded for him. We're happy. See, he's in camp. He's doing everything right. And then game 6 comes around, and suddenly he's not playing. With no reason. Not on the injury report. Then what do you say? And what happens after this year when suddenly he wants his contract? And you try to franchise him, which is going to cost a lot of money, by the way, and he totally freaks out. Flips out beyond belief and holds out. Because whatever it is that bothered him with Atlanta bothered him. The fact that you're not giving him his extension, his guaranteed money. Why would we do that? It's stupid. And it has nothing to do with how we built this team. Everything they've said in the past 2 years says they would never do that. Build through the draft. Get better in the trenches. Why would we trade the 10th pick for a receiver who stopped playing on October 31st? If you know anything about personal mental health issues, if anything, is that it's for life. You can manage it. If we own the rights to him, if we had already drafted with him, we would try to hopefully support him, not give up on him. It would be great to try to help him. And he would be, because we own the rights to him, we would deal with it and try to get the most we can. We drafted him. He's our guy. We love him. Okay, fine. If that happened to Elijah Moore, we would do everything we can to help him, right? Because we already made the pick. We already used the capital. He's our guy. So we're going to do everything to stand by him. But you don't walk into that. You don't say, we know that's an issue. We know that he has some kind of personal mental health issues that made him walk away from his team. We know that's the case. And we're going to give away the 10th pick in the draft for that? I mean, think. So it's either clickbait or we cannot trust Connor Hughes as competent. Because it's not a competent take. It simply is not a take that comes from a person of competence when it comes to having any knowledge of this team. Now, if you want to talk second round pick, I wouldn't do it, but okay, I'll listen. It's not impossible. If you want to talk third round pick, okay, now I'm really listening. Okay, now I'm starting to see the guy who got 1,300 yards the year before with a lot of touchdowns. Fine. Now you got my attention. But you're going to tell me the 10th pick overall in the draft? The 10th pick. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Right, Gitmo. Because if it was in Hawaii, I'm in California now. It's a 5.5 hour flight. I'd consider going just because it's in Hawaii. West has been at RG since the freshman and a few other Philadelphia. Okay, so we're talking about players now. Okay. Everything the Jets have said would lead to them not taking a wide receiver at 10. I agree. My only point was if we were going to trade the 10 for Ridley, that's why that's so stupid. Because if we wanted a wide receiver that badly, that it's worth a 10th pick overall, we would just take a wide receiver with the 10th pick overall. But we're not going to do that. And we'd be more likely to trade it down if we wanted to do that. Because the truth is, I guarantee you one of those guys will be there at 20. One of those guys will slip because not everybody, this is not a year where everyone is jumping on wide receiver. It's isn't it a defensive draft anyway? I think it's more of a defensive draft anyway. So it just doesn't make any sense. And I don't want a wide receiver at 10. I don't. You could get wide receivers in free agency. You could find wide receivers in the second round. You can. You got to go for the positions that are hard to fill that early. Either they're a special type of player, a once in a life, once in a decade kind of guy, a guy you can't pass on, or there's certain positions that are just impossible to find that everybody needs. We don't seem to be too keen on a cornerback. That's one of the key positions people seem to go for early. But edge is definitely one of them, right? And different offensive linemen, versatile offensive linemen, like tackles are strong in that position, right? But there are certain positions that you just don't see it happening. Great linebackers, if they're a possible star linebacker, you could see somebody going with the 10th pick. But you don't sit. But it's like if you're going to take a wide receiver with the 10th pick, they better be named someone like Jamar Chase or someone very, very special. And even then, it has to match up with your needs. And I know everybody says we need another wide receiver. We don't need another wide receiver. Okay, there are plenty of teams that don't already have a Corey Davis and Elijah Moore type of guy like set up already. It's a nice to have. It would be great for Zach to have another one. Fine. I would love to see another wide receiver come in rather than just sign some average guys for depth. I'd rather have another stud, but it's a want. It's a luxury. It's something that would be great to have. I wouldn't mind using a second round pick on it if the right guy was there. Not at all. I wouldn't mind signing another decent wide receiver if it's worth the money. But if with that 10 pick, if we can get a whole bunch of draft capital, trade down to 18, 20 and take a Nakobe Dean, come on. Or maybe we trade down into the low 20s and we pick Trey McBride. Because I don't know if he's going to make it to the second round. And don't tell me that Trey McBride wouldn't help Zach Wilson as much as a top-notch receiver. Because he would. What's up, Jeremy? Just got back, put my child down for a nap. I don't know if you were watching, dude, but I was like, I made an example out of you. I said, when you put down this clickbait kind of stuff that we're going to get Aaron Rodgers 90%, that's exactly what you're doing. You're grabbing your kid, throwing your stuff in the car. The picnic is cut short. You race home. You chuck the kid into the crib to go to bed, and you run to see it. Right? That's what happens. I'm just trying to. I wasn't trying to get you to run home and click on my link. That wasn't my point. My point was that's what Rich Cimini and the media does. The beat, they do that. I was just trying to make a point. I don't care that I was able to get a lot of people interested and onto this. It doesn't, me, I don't care about viewers or anything like that. I would never do something like that. But I was just trying to make a point that the beat does that. The beat, they're the ones that do it, not me. Everything that's up is probably a smokescreen. Yeah, exactly. Nothing anybody says that came out of the Jets world is true or by accident. Unless you see somebody get fired. If you see somebody with a cardboard box, some secretary or some assistant walking out with a cardboard box an hour and a half after some crazy rumor gets out about the Jets, that's the only way. Then you could say, oh, maybe it's real because they fired some asshole for opening up their stupid mouth. Because that's not going on in our organization. Okay, we don't sit there and blab. We definitely need a tight end and a wide receiver. Yeah, but like, do we need a top-notch wide receiver? Do we need to use a first-round pick on one? Can we get Romeo Doubs in the second round? Can we get Kyler Phillips in the fourth? Can we get Mechie, Pickens? There's a lot of guys. Can we get the kid from Penn State, Dotson, in the second round? Do we need to use the first round pick on him? I don't know. Like, is that a need right now? Because next year we're going to need things. We're not winning the Super Bowl next year. That was never the plan. We're not winning the Super Bowl next year. And if you gave me a choice, it's McBride over any wide receiver. Not in with the 10th pick. I'm saying in this draft, I want to come out of this draft with McBride more than any receiver. Because a tight end helps a quarterback just as much as a wide receiver. I would love to sign a wide receiver. Like, maybe, I don't know, there's some free agents out there, right? How about we do a 2 years guaranteed so we're not stuck forever, but for good money with like a third-year team option or something? You know, sign some kind of reasonable deal for a good wide receiver. If we pick one in the second or third round, that's good. Then that's fine too, because we've seen wide receivers hit, right? And I think there's a guy, I think there's some good guys there that we can get in the later rounds. So I'm not against wide receiver. I'm not saying we don't want a wide receiver. I'm just saying there are bigger holes to fill right now on this team. Don't forget, adding some good defensive players gets us off the field. That helps Zach Wilson. Being off the field for 8-10 minute drives of the other teams walking down the field on us killed us. Zach would come in, our offense would come in. There's no rhythm. They can't get on the field. It hurt us. So having a good defense does help the offense. A tight end, to me, it's faceted. It's two ways. It's you get the blocker. You get an extra blocker for the run game, an extra blocker for pass protection, or he spits out and you get an extra receiver. It's so valuable. I want both. We're 3-14 for a reason. We need a lot of things. But we got to get some defenders in there too. Come on. We can't keep using 5th and 6th round picks to fill up our defense. We're going to have to get some talent. If you trade back for 4 and 10, we can get Nakobe and Lindstrom and then stack picks. Yeah, I do it all the time, but there has to be buyers for that. That's the one thing that we need to hope for, right? If that's our strategy, we have to hope that there are teams looking to trade up. It's not going to be like last year. You don't have Trey Lance and Mac Jones and Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson. You don't have all these quarterbacks people are excited about, willing to give up the world to trade up for. So we're going to have to see if there's a buyer that's going to give us the value to give away those picks. Maybe the Steelers for 10. The Steelers might want pick 10. We'll see. Joe Campione, Gitmo says, could be, but everything Jay has done says he will not pick a wide receiver. This is true. Good ones could be found in the mid rounds. I don't believe any of these guys are as good as the guys in the last 2 drafts. This is all true stuff. We don't know that, but it's reasonable to believe it. They certainly don't have the hype coming out. They don't have the credentials of the wide receivers last year. Now, that doesn't mean anything. There could be a guy we never heard of that comes out, and they're an all-pro wide receiver for the next 10 years, future Hall of Famer, right? Nothing is written in stone. But certainly nobody is coming out with the hype of a Devontae Smith, a Jamar Chase, a Waddle. Those guys were much higher regarded guys. So we can get Kyle Phillips and Eric Uzukama as wide receivers along with McBride and kill it. Yeah, if we're right, Rusty. If we're right. I don't know your track record. I haven't known you for years. Like, have your diamonds in the rough panned out in the past? I love Kyle Phillips. And I liked Eric Uzukama. I love the tape. But are they going to pan out is the question. And if they do, that would be amazing. But we'll see. I wouldn't mind if we traded the 4th and 10th pick. Imagine the haul of picks and talent we can acquire. Yeah. If there are traders, if there are people who call us and offer crazy picks, we can get a haul of good players. We can get a lot of good players. Everybody wants to get the elite players. Who says that, like, if we got Iquanu at 14, or if we traded down and at 16 they got Nakobe Dean, just for example, who says that that won't be a blue chip player? We don't know that they won't be a blue chip player. They might end up being a superstar. But if there's different strategies, and if we traded down on both picks and got a freaking haul of picks plus a haul of picks for next year, maybe some of those hit and we get those blue chip players and we get a whole bunch of good players and we fill a lot of holes that way. So I'm not against it. Our receivers have the highest drop rate. We need help for Zach. Yeah, man, we definitely do. Trey McBride would be a good help. He doesn't drop the ball. And yeah, I don't think you have to go in the early rounds to get a receiver that doesn't drop the ball, though. We can get receivers with good hands. You know what I mean? I think his name is Dotson, right? Jahan Dotson, Romeo Dubes. Mechie has great hands for Alabama. Find me tape where he's dropping passes. A lot of those guys fall to the second round. Some fall to the third round, so we don't know. And then the other guys that Rusty have found seem to be reliable and have good hands. So we'll see. Look, we need a lot of things, right? So it's like whatever need we fill, we're not walking out of this draft with still a little bit of a void. Like something's going to be missing. Maybe it's depth. Maybe with free agency and draft on the very front cover, we have all the positions we feel we need. But then it's going to be a depth issue. Then it's going to be somebody goes down and there's no next guy up. You just can't take a 2-14 roster, strip it down the way we did, and build a championship level team. A championship level team is strong not only strong in most of the positions and areas, but depth. It takes time. It just does. Everyone wants to compare us to Cincinnati. Cincinnati had more depth already. They had people on their roster already. They didn't have as many holes that we did. Our offensive line, like the bench, the people behind, like we had GVR starting, and the people behind him were atrocious. Atrocious. They're awful. They're guys without experience, unproven guys. And then they actually played better than I thought they would. So there's that. But still, what if we went in next year and LVT was whoever the French guy? What if he was our backup? How sweet is that? GVR is a backup. All right, I could live with that. I don't like him. He probably won't be a Jet next year. I'm just making a point that GVR can find a home on an NFL team. Probably the damage has been done here, but a guy who's played 2 full years can be a backup. Okay. If you were really good, you wouldn't be a backup. It's okay. But it can't be guys we're so unsure about that are such huge question marks. And you can't be so weak in the position that a guy like GVR gets to play in so many games. A guy who rolls on your own player's knee and takes out your left tackle. It's absolutely unacceptable. What's up, bro? Out shopping with fam. What's the Rodgers Jets about? I'm sure Zach would love that. I was just making a point, Hater, that we shouldn't believe the Main Street media, the beat. It was like, look how many people came running and was reacting. This is exactly what Rich Cimini and these other guys do to get clicks. You know what? Maybe I'll get some clicks because of it. But the point is you're not going to see me build a channel on it, right? Because by the third time in a row that I did this, I wouldn't have anybody clicking anymore. They'd say, oh, it's just that guy that's full of shit, right? Because I don't have the Daily News behind me, like in a big sign, like on the corner. I don't have ESPN affiliate in the corner. So I'm not going to last if I do bullshit like that. The point is let's not believe these freaking lowlifes in the media that try to cause all these problems and all these distractions for our team. Yeah, so teams will give up the world to protect their quarterbacks. Yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for us because there's teams over the cap. I mean, the Saints are $55 million over the cap, and they don't even have a quarterback they pay a lot to. I mean, they have that guy, or whatever his name is, the utility guy who punts and does everything, but he's not a real quarterback. So imagine the Saints are going to have to dump up a ton of talent. So Jeremy hooked another big one with Hater. He's shopping and he's like on his phone watching. It's like, but that's the point. That's what clickbait is. That's what it is. That's what it's designed to do. Ali, hi Ali, got you a Kipling. Oh my God, it's like so. So Green Bean is right. He's gonna because he tells everybody because Jeremy doesn't forget about cheating or lying. Jeremy's just an asshole. And the rest have worked out over 90% facts. Okay, man. Hey, it's all on video now, man. I'm right with you. It's all official now. We're gonna track all the diamonds in the rough, and we're gonna know. And next year, there's not going to be any more doubters because we're going to show them what you did. If all these guys hit and they're all successful and way above their draft projections, next year everyone is going to be watching this show to see Rusty's diamonds. Everyone, you and me, baby, we're going to take over because I found the guy that finds the talent. What is Mess saying? We need 2 tight ends and 2 wide receivers. Yeah, we need a lot, man. We need a lot. I mean, right now we don't have any because right now we have 2 wide receivers signed, right? I mean, who do we have signed? I'm forgetting about the Smiths. I don't count Jeff and Vincent Smith. I like them as backup guys. I mean, possibly making the roster. That's all fine and dandy. But like, we have Elijah Moore, and we have Corey Davis, right? And we have Denzel Mims. Denzel Mims is coming to camp, all right? Anybody who tells you he's not is lying because he was a 2nd-round pick that we own the rights to. He's only used 2 years of his rookie contract. Why in the world wouldn't we bring him into camp? Unless he was a distraction, unless he was up like a cancer in the locker room. There's which he's never been reported to be. Why in the world would we not bring Denzel Mims into camp? Now, am I relying on him? Am I relying on him to make the roster and being a contributor on the New York Jets? No. To me, it's like if he does great, I'll be thrilled. But I'm going to be a realist here and say that the Denzel Mims thing is done. But he's going to be in camp. But really, we have Elijah Moore and Corey Davis. That's what we have. Now, we have money. And, like all those contracts of the guys, like Crowder is going to come off the books. Cole is going to come off the books. Right? Braxton Berrios, let's see if we extend him. But as of right now, he's not there. We don't have him guaranteed. We have 2 guys guaranteed that any of us care about. Nobody left is counting on Mims. Nobody would feel good if Mims was our number 3 receiver. Like if it was Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, and Denzel Mims, the only way we'd feel good about that is if we added other talent and he beat them out for the job. And they said, wow, big turnaround. In his preseason, he looks great. OTAs, he looks great. But for right now, none of us are counting on Mims. So it's not just one receiver in the draft. We have to sign. Maybe we re-sign Cole to be a WR4 or 5. I don't know. Maybe we even bring Crowder back. I don't know. But we're going to have to sign some like NFL wide receivers. We're going to have to, on the roster, have proven guys that can play in the NFL at wide receiver. Like we need more guys because we know Elijah Moore didn't play every game. Corey Davis didn't play every game. We have to have depth in that position. We can't go out and be back to being a team who's starting DC or whatever his name is, Montgomery, Tyreek something. A guy wasn't even listed on the roster. We didn't even know who he was. Jeff Smith, Vincent Smith. I'm sorry. I don't feel good if these guys are our starting wide receivers because our 2 guys get hurt. This is the NFL. So we definitely have to bring in a couple of wide receivers. It's more than just one. We could double up on the draft. We can get 1 or 2 in free agency and then draft 1 in the 2nd or 3rd round. But we need wide receivers, of course. Tight ends, I have no problem. I like the idea of signing 1 and drafting 1, or drafting 2. The only problem with drafting 2 is then you got Yeboah, who played 1 game as far as regular snaps or 2 games. And then you have 2 guys who never took an NFL snap, right? And like what, Dan Brown. So I don't like that scenario. So bringing in an experienced tight end, drafting a tight end, like say, like even if it's not McBride, let's say it's Jake Ferguson or Kolar or Wademeyer, whoever they like. They bring in one of these tight ends in the draft. You sign a guy like Schultz or Gesicki, whoever it's going to be. And then you have Yeboah hopefully takes a step up. They kept him around for a reason. We hope, we think, we don't know. So, and then you got Dan Brown as a special team guy, and Yeboah was special team, but maybe he's the T3, maybe he's not. We don't know. Maybe he gets cut. Maybe he makes the practice squad. We don't know. But he played a little bit at the end, and he didn't look horrible. So we see. We will find out. I think the Jets will be cutting a dozen players. Yeah, we're going to be cutting down. A lot of players have to go because we're picking 9 to 10 in the draft. If we trade down and get more assets, every draft pick that we use on a player that we're excited about is almost, you can almost bank on the fact that that's a player that is going to be cut from our team, whether they're not brought back as a free agent or they're cut. So if we bring in Roger McCree at cornerback, someone's getting cut. Is it Isaiah Dunn? Who is it? But somebody's getting cut because we're not going to have an extra cornerback in the room, I don't think. So if we draft whoever we draft, it means somebody else goes or doesn't get re-signed. If we draft an edge, somebody who was an edge for us last year goes. Maybe first Shaq Lawson. But it's the point is we bring in 9 draft picks that we're excited about. 9 guys are not going to be here that were here last year or on the roster from last year. PF Mock today showed us taking Ekwonu and London. I wouldn't be upset with that as long as it meant that JD and all of them were in love with Drake London. But we can't trust PFF because we know JD better than they do, right? Because I don't, is there a Jet expert there that would think that they would take Drake London? It's hard to imagine that they take him at 10. I don't see him ranked that high in most things. I mean, maybe they trade down and take him, but to take him at 10, it feels like a reach to me to take Drake London at 10. But you know what? If he's a star and our best receiver, nobody cares that it was a reach. I'm from looking and watching the Senior Bowl. We have our healthy players. We straight up hurt people. For real. Hey, man. How about that guy, Boye Mafe? Can you imagine grabbing him late in the later rounds? Adding him? Wow. That guy looks special. I don't even know if he's going to last to the later rounds after that game. What is Hater saying? Oh, yeah. Hater, I know you're always watching, man. I appreciate it. Hater just doesn't always make it onto the live streams, but he's always watching. And I could tell you guys, because you could see the views that I'm getting. I'm like, where are these guys? Where are these guys? And then I look at my views. I go, well, who else is doing these views? It must be my guys. I'm on late at night a lot. Like I'm on at times where a lot of you can't watch me live. So I have to do shows like this in the middle of a Sunday, and suddenly I see everybody start popping back in. But I know people are watching because I see the watch time and the views, and it's like it kind of tells me, oh, people are watching. So so I know you guys are out there. Just make sure you like the videos when you come in and check them out, okay? Unless you don't like them. This one might not get so many likes because I pulled that fast one over you. I think Jude Jets left a long time ago. I think he was pissed off. Oh, he probably said, Daddy tricked me. That bald man tricked me. I don't like him. And he made a comment that I stopped playing my Legos. I can't help it. He's a kid. So, you imagine him playing Legos in between his videos. It's cute. Just praying we stay healthy next season. Always, man. Always. Can we have that for once? Can we have that? Can we have a situation where we get to be the healthy team? Can we have the guys we sign? Can Carl Lawson just come back and be a stud? Can we have that? Can Corey Davis and Elijah Moore just play the whole year? Can Michael Carter just start every game at running back? Can you believe? Do you know? I can't think of a player who played every game. Michael Carter II missed some time. Michael Carter missed time. Corey Davis missed time. Crowder missed time. Elijah Moore missed time. Coleman missed time. Zach Wilson missed time. What about our defensive line? Yeah, they all missed time, right? Fadokasi missed some time. Shelton Rankins missed some time. Huff missed some time. Right? We lost May. We lost Marcus May. We lost Joyner before the year even started. We lost both safeties, and then when safeties came in, and then played well, we lost those guys that came in and played well. We lost Jamie Sherwood, who they said was going to be who they liked. They were going to let him wear the green sticker and everything. He had the green sticker. We didn't see much, but they saw potential greatness in him. So his development is messed up. He might never be the same, right? Because it's an Achilles. I mean, what the hell do we have to do? Like, I don't understand. Like, I mean, every team has injuries, but come on, it's every guy. And it's every year. It happens to us every year. Can't we just have a year where our players stay healthy? Where we get to see our team the way it was built. But until then, or not even until then, but that's the lesson that we need to have learned of why we have to build incredible depth. We just have to keep pounding and keep drafting and just create controversy and create competition at positions. We have no choice because and it's like, hey, just come to the Jets. Don't worry if you're not going to start or if you're worried about having to compete for a job, because everybody gets hurt on the Jets. Everyone gets a chance to play. Believe me, it's the Jets. History proves it. Yeah, I even got Gitmo Bob. I got him with that headline. So I shouldn't make it a habit to do headlines like that. Should I? Right? That's not a good thing to do. I'm not thinking you guys are thinking, yeah, Jeremy, keep doing headlines like that. Keep grabbing people as clickbait, right? Because the whole point is we don't want that. We're sick of people who do that. We're sick of the beat. I was making a point. I'm not going to lie to you. I told my wife, I said, while I make my point, it'll also be good clickbait. I'll get a lot of views. It's true. Hey, if you're new to this channel, if you're watching this and you actually stayed 51 minutes and didn't say this guy's an asshole and get out, hit the little subscribe button. Help me out. I talked about it before. It's really, I'm trying to share that it's not just good for me. I'm not trying to make money with this site, guys. I'm not quitting my job as an AP. I'm an assistant principal at an elementary school, and I'm not quitting. You don't make that kind of money at YouTube to quit your job. Okay? I like having a lot of viewers, though. I don't know. Maybe I'm a ham. I don't know. I want to have a big channel. I want to have 3,000, 4,000 subscribers. I want to have 100 people in the chat. I just want to. What's the point of doing this if that's not your goal? I'm a goal-oriented guy. I don't want to have 8 people in the chat the rest of my life and a few hundred viewers or subscribers. No, I want to have a few thousand. I want to be like those guys, right? Except that what I'm going to do is I'm going to not get too big in my head or whatever. I'm always going to be the guy that admits to you that everything I say is my opinion. And I'm always going to respect and read out your opinions. And I'm always going to learn from you. And if you learn from me too, that's great. That was the whole point of this channel. That's the whole point of the chat. Not to argue or fight, but to share our views and to learn from each other. And the more people I have watching, the more people to share views with. And yes, I've been making friends through this, and I'm a social guy. I like making friends. So yeah, I want more and more people, more friends, more friends. To me, that's the secret of life. The more relationships you have in the world, the happier you are. My dream is to go to a Jet game and say, hey, there's that bull guy, Chaos. I watch him on TV. That's my dream. I watch him on YouTube. I'm online at a Jet game, to get a hot dog, and someone comes up to me and goes, I'm Mess, and you're getting food. This is exactly where I knew to look for you, at online at a vendor buying something to eat. It should be up to LaFraud to figure out how to use MIMS. If he can't, then he remains LaFraud. His other project should be free. Yeah, it will never not be puzzling to me why they can't make MIMS successful. It'll never not be puzzling to me because I see nothing but talent. We saw him in his first year and we saw the potential. Package the Smith and Perina MIMS and get something for them. Hopefully we could, but it's just that the problem is people, they know, why am I going to pay for something when I can get it for free? Why buy the cow when you get the milk for free? If they know that we're going to get rid of them or we don't have the space for them, and we're not going to waste time on them. But I think if Mims is just hanging around like WR5 or practice squad, maybe he's tradable. So, Jeremy, I always support you, bro. I know you do, brother. Thank you. I appreciate that, Tom. Tom is one of those guys. He appreciated me from the very, very beginning. But most of you here have. So, that's what That's my biggest celebration about this whole thing is that when I see it's the same people, some people say, "Oh, I want to get new people. I want to get new people," but never at the expense of you guys. Never at the expense of the people that are already here. Like if we add somebody more to the fam, that's great. We add somebody more to the fam, but never, never, ever at the expense of we bring in people here who piss other people off, make it an unsafe kind of place, a space that you guys don't like anymore. Like what happens in, for the last 25 years in a lot of forums, AOL used to have forums. There used to be these websites with forum boards. And what happens is it leads to misery, fighting, hate. And then the original people start to leave because it's not what it was. See, our goal is we're going to grow this site together, but this is our fam. Like if somebody comes into this chat and attacks somebody, like if you see people attacking each other, they come on, you don't recognize them. You don't have to be an asshole to them. You don't have to go after them. But what you could do is you could tell them, say, we don't do that here. Like, right? Like don't allow them to get away with it. So if you see someone come in here and like attack Bob or attack Emananon, I'm saying his name wrong, or Joe Campione, or someone was to come in and attack one of our guys, attack Tom for anything or say something inappropriate, like just go after him and say, we don't do that shit here. You know what I mean? It's like, because I don't want the viewer that bad. I don't want the subscriber that bad. I don't want somebody who's here to cause trouble. Like, I don't want them to ruin what we got. The idea is we're going to build this up together, but it's going to be good people, and it's going to be people that we enjoy seeing online and enjoy talking about the Jets with and enjoy talking about football with. Because as I try to do other drafts for other teams and bring in fans of other teams, it's going to be the same thing. We're going to keep it respectful. And we're going to respect the fact that even if someone likes another team, they're just like us. They just happen to be maybe born in a different city, or when they were a kid, they were exposed to a different team. But they're just like us. They want the same things we do, which is people that sometimes happen to like a different team. Right now, my priority is Jets content and you guys and our Jets fam. But I'd like to slowly build it out. I think it would be fun. I think it would be fun for us to have fans of other teams to talk to, and get their views. Call an exorcist. What's that for? Sage the locker room. Oh, that's injuries. Am I that far behind? Oh, okay. Wait a second. I'm gonna learn how to pronounce the name. Okay. Emenon. Is that Emenon? Menon. This is so hard for me. Why is I'm a TV personality now? I have to be able to speak. Menon. Oh my God. Menon. Hey, Menon. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna say it right forever. Yep. This report saying that Adam Gase is being considered for the Patriots. So Joe can only hope. Belichick must be going senile. I've seen it a lot too, and I did check the sources on that. And it's not just one guy or one person. So it's kind of interesting because can you imagine going from the coach he had to Adam Gase? Like, that's just crazy to me. That's just crazy. But one could argue maybe he's better behind the scenes. So you don't have this. Maybe we won't have to see that. Maybe he'll just be like in the box upstairs. But that's just surprising because he was such a bad coach. No name backwards. Oh, that's interesting. No name backwards. Can I just call you no name backwards? And is the New York, Nevada means that you were originally from New York and then you moved to Nevada? If that's true, then you got to give me credit. That's pretty fucking smart. Like if I just predicted that you were in New York and then you went to Nevada. Emenon. See that? I did it. Emenon. You're famous now. Everyone's going to be saying it. Chom Bon Jovi's at home trying to say it too. Emenon. I can just say it forever. Yep. So I'm right. It's New York, Nevada. So you're in Vegas now or something, or in Nevada. Maybe not in Vegas, but I would guess Vegas, right? If you go to Nevada, you go somewhere near Vegas typically, right? Although, I mean, if you told me Reno, I'd say let's get together and hang out because I'm not that far from Reno. Reno was my last stop before I got to Sacramento when I did the drive from New York. I didn't stay overnight, but I went from Salt Lake City was my last hotel stop. And then we stopped in Reno. I went into a place, put some money in a whatever they call those, a slot machine, gave away a few bucks, went to the bathroom. And then my wife went to the bathroom. We walked our dog around a little bit around the parking lot, got back in the car, and pulled up in downtown, midtown Sacramento at my friend's house. And we were here. Let's see. Bill cheap, me, crazy eyes, gas, wear sunglasses all the time. Yeah, probably would. I can see that as part of the interview. Are you willing? Queens to Henderson. So Henderson's like 15 minutes off the strip. I have a friend in Henderson. My friend John and Fetty's, well, John and Fetty are a married couple, and John's mother lives in Henderson, and I think his father does too, even though they're not together. I think they're friends, and they actually, I don't know if he lives there. My friend John Chaponis. And they got married in Henderson, and at the backyard of the house there. And we stayed in a hotel in Henderson, one of those big casino hotels in Henderson. The only thing I remember about it is like it was a real hotel. Like you walked in and there was bars and casino right there in the top. Yeah, so I stayed in Henderson. I was there. I didn't really go out much or do anything outside of the hotel and the place where they got married, but I was there in Henderson. So I know where it is. Nice, Jets miss. Any new thoughts or favorites in the draft after the Senior Bowl, Jeremy? Yeah, some mid to late round guys. I think that we got affirmation on McBride. I think that he did just enough to justify why we're so excited about him. I'm a little bit more excited than Jake at or by Jake Ferguson than I was. Jake Ferguson definitely came up the chart a little bit for me as like a guy I'm feel more familiar with and saw what he could do. I'm not going to go crazy for Mercedes McBride, but I mean, it's nice to actually see a player doing those kind of things. I think Cole Turner had a good game too on the other side. Near the end, he started making some nice catches. I think the biggest change of or about a player I got the most excited about is what was his first name again? Boye Mafe, the defensive edge. I think was the biggest thing I had happen, or the biggest change in the game for me. Like as far as like shifted, like knowing nothing about him, never picked him in a mock, never thought about him, to oh my god, I hope he's our double up edge guy. Like if we double up on edge in the draft, man, would I love him to be that second guy. You know, if we get like Jermaine Johnson or Hutch or Thibodeau, if we end up with one of those guys, a Jabo, whoever it is, if we end up with an edge like that, and then in a later round, like in the fourth round, they were to grab Mafe, I would be really, really excited. I like Gunter. I didn't see him play in his game. I forgot what game. If he was in a different game, I think I'll ask Rusty if he played the different game and how he played. But this guy Boye to me was the player of the game. Like he was the man. I don't think anybody could have stood out more than him. Phillips, the defensive tackle, I think it was Phillips, stood out too. Like if we were to take a defensive tackle, I know a lot of people are against that, but if we were, Phillips took a giant step to get our attention because he was really good. It's easy to say, Emanon. Can you say it 10 times fast? No, I will not. I will not say it 10 times fast. I will not like them, Sam. I do not like green eggs and ham. I made the same stops on my way to Almeida. Never got over the snow on the ground in August in Donner Pass. Oh, you've been around, Gitmo. You've been around. But you know what? Driving across the country was like an amazing box to check off for me and my wife. It wasn't like what we wanted because we left before the summer, and I thought that it was going to end up being like take our time. Like we had no reason not to take our time. I had enough money put away. Um, my wife's an OT, and we knew she was going to have work right away. We knew that we had friends out here, even though we had found our apartment. It was outside Sacramento. It wasn't even that expensive. I wasn't worried, being in education, that I wasn't going to be able to find a job, especially as a credentialed special education teacher. It's never an issue. I didn't know I was going to get an admin job, but the point was, we left early enough in the summer in July that I thought we were going to be able to take as much time as we want. We stopped at my friend's house in Colorado Springs, and I thought I was going to get to spend a few days there. We ended up spending one extra day. That was our one day of non-travel. We got there on a Friday, and on Saturday we took a day off from traveling. And then we were back on the road on Sunday. And the reason is on the road to California, literally, I had the interview with my company, and I had one interview before, but then I had one final interview from the hotel, I think in Ohio, but not Cleveland. What's the other place in Ohio? Charleston? Well, I forgot the name of the town in Ohio, but along the 70 or 80, there's that other big place in Ohio that I'm forgetting. We were in Ohio, and she said, "I'll call you tomorrow." And on our way out of Ohio, our next stop was Kansas City. It was a horrible storm, and my phone rang. My wife answered it for me and put it on speaker, and I was offered the job. And she said to me, and this was Thursday, and she said, "Can you be here on Tuesday?" So that took away any plans of stopping, spending time in different cities, because now all of a sudden I was mapping out how many miles a day do I have to drive to make it by Tuesday. And I said, I'm going to stop in Colorado Springs because we have friends there. They're going to show us some really cool hiking spots. So we spent that one extra day, and we just drove our asses off. And that's why I went from there straight to Salt Lake City, and from Salt Lake City straight to Sacramento. Got to Sacramento on Monday night. Tuesday morning I was at the school meeting my new employers. And by the way, my wife, out driving into Salt Lake City, got hired for a contracting job. So we literally got to Sacramento with both having jobs. And when we left New York, neither of us had a job. So it was pretty cool. It's a good story, right? I mean, can you imagine I'm employable? Okay, so I get a kick out of that. I'm actually employable. Gunther did good in the Shrine Bowl. He held his own and dished out pain too. He had at least one sack, if not three multiple tackles. He did good. Well, that's good to know. So he's still our boy there. The salt flats in Utah were awesome. Thought they would never end. I know, man. I could talk about that forever, dude. It made me realize that the states it wasn't like just magical random spots where they built the state lines, because you saw the change in terrain as you drove. Like when you go from Colorado into Utah, it goes from rocks and mountains and literally became the salt licks, like white on the sides of the road. And then when you hit California, it's like you see the mountains coming and the green coming, and then you cross the state line and you're in California. It's incredible. And Kansas was flat nothing. And as you got towards the Colorado state line, you see the mountains. Then you pass the state line and you hit the mountains. And I realized, I said, holy shit, the state lines aren't an accident. There's a reason why the state lines are where they are. It literally changes. There's a change in geography or topography, or whatever the fuck you want to say. Look who is here. It is Peo time. And you're enjoying my sharing? Thank you, man. What is your wildest dream for your channel? Okay. So, although I will say it a million times, there's no intention or belief or real fantasy. There's no real purpose of actually believing that I could do this for a living, stop being an assistant principal, and actually make this my life. I only say that because my niece works for Google, the YouTube division. And I know what it takes to be able to make enough money to make a living from this. And it is not what we make, as you probably have figured out, Peo. It's a lot more than people think. You got to get consistently 1 million views on videos to make any real money. And maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe I'm exaggerating that. But that's kind of what I was told. Like you literally have to be the person that has a few 100,000 subscribers. You have to be breaking 1 million on some videos, or a few 100,000 have, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's changed. This is what she told me a while ago. Maybe the sponsorships changed it. Maybe the donations that people make changed it, or the Patreon. I don't know. But if I was able, and I would, by the way, I wouldn't do what I do now. Like if this became like I don't have the belief in my head, the ego to think that I could have 200, 300,000 subscribers, because I think that like everything else, I wasn't trained in this. I think there's special talent out there. People have special talent, and people who get that big, there's a reason for it. But if somehow that fantasy came to pass, that I was able somehow to make a living doing this, that would be my wildest fantasy. Just being able to make a living doing this, meaning that I could just do this 100% of the time. And what I mean by that is I would improve the quality so much. Because if I could do this 100% of the time and not have a job, I would know every team the way I know the Jets, even though I'm not a fan of their team. Like I'd be able to answer any question about any team. I'd watch tape all day. That would be like when I'm not on the air, that would be the hours I put in, because I'm a guy who needs to be busy. I don't want to sit around and do nothing. I want to be productive. So I'd be watching tape. I'd be learning about every team, what their needs are. I would become like that guy, one of those Jets channels. He knows about every player out of college. He knows about every team. That would be me. I would love it to be my obsession, just to know what every team needs, to be able to do a draft and represent every team intelligently, and do a mock draft where I'm picking for every team in a smart way with good justifications for my choices. And that's my life. That's my work. And the result of that work is to give information to people, to entertain people, to make people's lives just a little bit better because they feel entertained, like a little bit more connected, and that's like the greatest compliment we get, like, I think, right? And I think you would agree. Like, we have a guy from Ireland. He told me in Green Bean, he goes, "You helped get me through the pandemic." He goes, "You, Green Bean, and Frankie helped get me through the pandemic." He goes, "It's your content." And like, it's the greatest feeling in the world. Just, I mean, it matches or is in the same ballpark as when a little 8-year-old hugs me who was crying and then it runs away happily, after I'm able to help them or talk to them. Like, that's the reward from it. So that's the wildest fantasy that I have. I don't have to be rich, but if I was able to actually do this full time, that would be a fantasy like come true. I love doing this more than anything else right now in my life. Like my wife is being so good about it because I spend so much time on it. I would love to have more time, more intros, more cool intro videos. Yeah, clickbait beauty, right? I was trying to prove a point about like why people can't believe the regular media, because it's all clickbait bullshit. That was my whole point of the name of this show. But I hope I answered your question. It's the truth. It's honest. I used to love improv and being on a stage. Now I love doing this. Can't explain why. I don't know what it is, but I love doing it. And I probably don't have to explain it to you because you're doing it too. So, and you're doing it really well. And here's another guy who does it. And that is John Post of Pure Adrenaline Fantasy Sports. We just love it. That's why we do it, because we love it. Well, the stream for Jeremy's channel is to be talking about the Jets Super Bowl victory with special guests, New York Jets cheerleader. Yeah, I would like that. But you're leaving out one important thing, and Jets Mess might be taking a break from the show, because what he'd be saying is somehow I would get sponsors, food sponsors, and it would include free food. And I would be promoting and sponsoring and holding up different food and eating every show with food that I was given to promote. So that would be part of the fantasy. Yes, money off users, little money, memberships, and super chats is where money is at. Yeah, that's not easy. That's not easy because I'm not the kind of person to ask people to give me money, right? It's like, so I'm not going to sit there all like trying to, but the best shows don't ask, right? Like, I never seen Green Bean say, "Give me money." Like, do a super chat, Like, Ryan doesn't do a super chat, but at the same time, they're not making enough money from that. Like, it's nice and it helps pay for, like, to me, someone gave me a super chat once in a while and it added up enough month that I could upgrade my StreamYard, subscription to the highest quality, so I get better quality video and I get some extra features. That's where that money would go. But there's like people on YouTube that there's that basketball player, that former basketball player who went to war with like Steven Jackson and the announcers and everything for calling him a scrub. And he gets like 3,000 or 4,000 people watching him. And the super chats are like lighting up, like $50, $50, $20, $30 the whole time. He doesn't even read them. It's too many to get to. He's driving his car. He can't even see it happening. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy's making crazy money. All he has to do is go on and drive his car and talk and make fun of Steven Jackson. You bald-headed freak. The hair hotline is so hard, it looks like somebody took your eyes and stretched your skin over your head. And people are going crazy giving him money. And I'm just like, I don't even understand how people get that kind of money. Like on Tom Grassi's channel, he's like the biggest YouTube football content provider I've seen yet. He's like 200,000 subscribers. And when you go to his watch parties, there are people who give him $100 to do a shot. I mean, I'll do a freaking shot of hot sauce, the Reaper sauce, for $100, dude. Like if people want to one day I'm going to say when, I'm going to be a little confident. When this channel gets monetized, I will have Reaper hot sauce, and I will do full shots of it, and my face will turn red. I'll have to leave camera. I'll be sweating. I don't care. For $100, this guy is getting $100 donations left and right to do a shot. Like, I don't understand it. Like, are there people out there in this world that have that much money? Like $5, man. That's what I used to give people. I can still do sometimes. $5. If I gave people $20, $100, $50, my wife would fucking shoot me. You know how hard I work for my money? I mean, it's no offense. It's not that I don't think people are worth it. It's not like if I won a lotto, I wouldn't want to do it. I would love to give everybody money. But man, how do people afford to give $100 to someone that they don't? You know what I mean? $100. Holy cow. I mean, they're just dropping $100 to people, man. It's like ding ding. They got like 3 hundies up there. I don't get it. But if it happened, I'd be worried if people were doing it. I'd say, dude, are you sure you can afford this? That's the problem with me. Is I can't do it. I can't take from people. Like if someone was dropping that kind of money, I'd be like, are you sure you can afford this? Can you prove it to me? Like I need to know that you're not like one of these addicts that's going to make yourself homeless because you're giving all your money to people, but I don't know. That's just a fantasy. My want is for right now is to get over 1,000 subs, get to like 1,500, 2,000, even 1,000, whatever it takes to get 50 people in every stream. Right. And sometimes break 100, and maybe that'll change. And I'll want more if that happens. But if it was like for right now, that would be amazing. Like if I had 40, 50 people in here right now, I mean, yeah, man, that's it. That's the shit. That's the jam. What will you do for your 1 millionth sub? You might not survive it. I don't know, man. 1 million subs. Something would have to happen for me to I would have to find some niche to be at 1 million subs, right? Like it couldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. This is not going to get me to 1 million. Something would have to happen, like some idea. I'd have to come up with some crazy idea that would go viral. You have to see this guy. Maybe if I poured hot sauce on my eyes, like just poured hot sauce in my eyes and was like, maybe people would actually watch. I don't know. Because even the most popular shows that are so entertaining don't do that, right? They don't get 1 million subs. So I don't know. I mean, I watch, I don't know if there's ever going to be enough subs or never enough people or like feedback that's going to make me watch people like Peo and watch people like Roonbean and think I'm at that level. Like they're always going to be like I wonder if musicians feel that way. Even if they have a #1 hit and they become a popular band, do they ever look and say, oh, wow, I feel like I'm as big or as good as you two? Or I'm as, you know what I mean? Like, or I'm as big as Johnny Cash. Like, I don't know if there's any number of subscribers or viewers that would make me feel that I was like those guys. And Peo is here, and that's like makes me crazy. I'm like, I can't believe he's here because I watch him and he's amazing. And I'm like, how the hell is he interested in what I have to say? Like it was the best thing. John Postman hooked me up by introduced me to him. And it's like I'm just like you know, it's just cool when people that you like and really enjoy are actually become your friends or talking to you and join your show and want to hear what you have to say. It's like beyond hard to describe. Full time and make a living doing this YouTube gig, as they say, you never know. Yeah, I mean, I guess right. You just do it the best you can do it. Do what you love, and maybe it leads to something great. I mean, that's my philosophy is enjoy the journey. So if it never becomes anything but 1,200 subscribers and 20 people in the room, and I eventually get to a point where it's never going to get any bigger, at the end of the day, did I enjoy the journey? Did I enjoy getting there? Did I love it? Right? So this way, there's no waste of time. If you're doing something you don't like and you're trying to get to 1 million to make a living and you don't do it, you say, oh, I wasted all that time. It never fucking happened. And you're mad. That's awful. But I'll never say it was a waste of time because I'm loving it. I love doing it. So no matter what, there's no losing. It's just would be a fantasy. It would be just like this unbelievably nice thing. Your wife is on the phone with my wife. Well, thank Madhavi for me for keeping Jocelyn happy and not mad at me for not being on the phone. But she said she was going to work out. So, but I'm glad they're on. She needs somebody to vent to, Matthew. I'm sure you know what that's about. Like she's like Madhavi is her partner in that, like to vent. So it's good that they're talking. Improv. What's improv? Improv is what I'm doing now. I had no plan. My only plan was I was going to come on. Everyone was going to say, what the hell are you talking about, Jeremy? Aaron Rodgers is not coming to the Jets. You've lost your mind. And I was going to say, I'm doing an example of Rich Cimini and the media and the beat and how full of shit they are to get clicks. And then I was going to do my little sarcastic, but I would never do that. I was just trying to make a point. I didn't care about clicks like that. And that was it. Everything else that's happened after that is just completely improv. But if you ever saw Whose Line Is It Anyway, that's short form improv. Long form improv, I don't know if there's anything famous. Maybe like Best in Show is an example of long form in some regard, because I don't think he writes a script. I think that they create the scenario. Like, okay, in this scene, you're going to check into the hotel and your credit card's going to not get, and I think that then they just improvise the whole scene. I don't know. My brother will tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that a lot of shows like from Christopher Guest, a lot of the movies are like half improvised, half planned. Like they know the idea of the scene, but they don't write the exact script of the lines of the scene. But also, if you ever want to look up long form improv, if you type in The Herald, that's a very classic model or example of long form improv where you do they get a suggestion for the audience and then create a whole 45-minute show out of it. That suggestion. You did a great job answering my question. Some people get thrown off by my channel. They get thrown off by your channel? By it? I don't know why they would get thrown off by your channel. They get thrown off by good content? You're never going to please anyone, right? You're never going to please everyone. Like no matter what you do, you're never going to please everyone. If you're honest, there are people who can't stand people who are honest. If you're happy, there are people who can't stand people that are happy. If you're sad, there are people who can't stand people who are sad. So there's nothing you could be that pleases everyone. My brother will probably come up with some snazzy lines to respond to that, but Jeremy, just watch the Penn State players. Most of them suck and bust out usually in the NFL. These are the facts. Yeah, I mean, it feels like every Penn State player we've taken busts except tight ends. Well, not tight ends. What am I saying? Linebackers. You should definitely get Castello to sponsor your show when you are able. Oh my God, that would be amazing. Can you imagine that? Free chopped liver. Their pastrami. I have a pound. I think it's a pound. I have a pound of Katz's pastrami in the freezer, Gitmo, that I ordered from their website. We ordered it a while ago, and we haven't got we ordered a whole bunch of stuff, and I saw it yesterday. I forgot about it, and I think even in a freezer vacuum packed, you're not supposed to wait over a year, and I think it was like 6 months ago. So I think we're going to be throwing that bad boy in the pot pretty soon. I'll give you money if you cut your scalp off in air. You know what you'll get. $2. Matthew, that's an inside joke, guys. Abysmal charisma. Well, you were enjoyable to watch, mate. Keep it up. Thank you. Who is the best realistic free agent receiver option for the Jets? Um, I don't know. I don't think they would go for Amari Cooper if he's a free agent because I think that he's past his prime and seen his best days. Maybe the other one from Dallas isn't Gallup that got hurt. I think he might be a guy we get because we can get a reasonable price. JD is always about money and value. But to me, we just have to make sure we don't do anything stupid to lock up our money before 24. When we start having to pay and extend guys from 21 draft. Like that's where we have to start getting careful. But maybe like a guy like Gallup. Isn't Robinson? Again, I don't want to go too big on them because some of these guys, I feel like their best years might be behind them. In the NFL, your careers don't last long in the NFL. Like once a guy's been around 6 or 7 years, it's like I'm kind of like, So, but I think that we just need a temporary, like really good receiver. Like I think Elijah's going to develop into a true number one. I think Elijah Moore is going to be that ridiculous star receiver we're all hungry for. Like I still believe in Elijah Moore. I don't think he's just going to be good. I think Elijah Moore is going to be very special. I think he had a very special rookie season. When you look at the blocking and the lumps and bruises, Wilson had to take and our offense had to take. Before he got hurt, Elijah Moore was scoring a touchdown every week. He was starting to break out. And he was also having some games where he dropped, yes, or he was overthrown or there was a penalty where he could have turned some of those games into like huge games. So I think he's right on the cusp. Don't forget, rookie wide receivers, if you compare look at any wide receiver their rookie year, they get so much better than they were their rookie year most of the time, right? Like look at Ridley's numbers his first year. What did he get? 700 yards receiving? I don't even know if he got that much. Look at Antonio Brown's first year as a wide receiver. Like look at the numbers of these guys. And then look what they became, some of these stud wide receivers. So I am not down or not believing just because he wasn't a superstar year one that Elijah Moore is not going to be a premier wide receiver. I think the kid is very special. So we just might need a stopgap decent receiver because we need another reliable weapon at wide receiver. I don't know that we need a WR1 elite guy. I think we need a really good guy. I think if we got like another Corey Davis, assuming Corey Davis becomes a guy who doesn't drop passes anymore. Like if we got a Corey Davis that gets back to catching the ball and you add someone at his level and then Elijah Moore, and then you throw in a Trey McBride or Ferguson or a Rucker and you give us, or, whoever we pick up a tight end, like another real weapon there, I think we're good. I do. If we get an elite wide receiver, that's great. I'm not against it. I'm just saying I don't know if that's what we need right now. Right now, we're hoping to get 7 to 9 wins. We want to take the next step. We'll start putting the icing on the cake later. Right? Let's get to the point where we have a strong, deep roster and we could win games and be competitive every week and be capable of beating anybody every week. Then let's look what we have, look what we need, and then we put on the final pieces, right? I'm not at that stage where we need the final pieces yet. Like I'm not thinking that that's what we need to do to say, oh, we still need that, this, or we still need to let the young guys develop and find out who's going to fill those roles anyway. We don't know that Eccles is not going to develop into a solid number 2 corner, like really good that we're happy to have in there. We just don't know because very few cornerbacks start their career in their prime. They get better. Like we have to see how it plays out a little bit. Now, if we took Roger McCreary, I'd be very happy. You wouldn't see one complaint from me at all. I'm just saying that I just think that it's so hard to know who we're going to pick and what JD is thinking because they behind the scenes are already having these feelings towards certain players. They're already getting ideas of who's going to be the future and who they still need to find at certain positions. 4 shots for $400 would kill Jeremy, LOL. Legit, probably would. Maybe if it was that hot of a hot sauce, you're right. Even if it was alcohol, it might kill me. I'm a lightweight. Ryan does pretty well on Tuesdays, so much that I don't comment that much because he usually doesn't get to the guys in the chat. Yeah, he does really well. He does really well. I don't know what it adds up to as far as paying bills and stuff, but and YouTube takes a cut of it too. But you're right. You're right. He does all right. Look, it's exciting. I mean, I know that in the beginning, all the money would go to this. I already ordered 2 banners because that's not expensive. So I'm going to have 2 banners. I don't know if I'm going to hang them on the slats of the ceiling because they're diagonal of the ceilings. I've said that before. So I don't know how I'm going to test it out and see how it looks. Or if I just buy green screen stands, I have one if I get another, and I just have 2 stands behind me with the banners hanging. But I'm going to try to make this look better. So you're not looking at just one banner behind me. I want 2 banners on both sides of me. I think that'll be cool. This room doesn't really allow me to do what the Jeff Central guy does, like I would love, or Ryan does. Like I would love to have it with the green light and it's dark, and I could make the room whatever color based on what team I'm talking about. There's some things I would love to do, but I think a good start would be at least to get 2 new banners next to me on each side, so I have banners all around me. Or hanging on the walls along like those slats that you see behind me. I'm so dyslexic I can't make it go in the right direction. Maybe I'll hang a Reese's peanut butter cup on the ceiling for payout. Yeah, I might do the 1 chip challenge. I did the Korean noodles, the extra XXX spicy chicken Korean noodles or whatever. And let me tell you something, that was no fun. That wasn't a picnic. You guys would enjoy it because it's not just one shot of it. I'm like eating it. So Mess would be happy because he gets to watch me eat. And I was suffering, man. I mean, when you're eating noodles and soup, it's dripping all over your face. I was red. It was hard. It was painful. What is the better first date, mini putt or bowling? I actually had 2 first dates, like that I'm remembering because of this question. Because I did have a first date. I was hooked up with somebody, a couple in Staten Island. My friend Christine and her boyfriend hooked me up with a friend of hers that was visiting, and we played mini golf. You're Canadian, so you're saying mini putt. We call it mini golf. Mini putts? Fucking Canadian. Your fucking bowling balls that are the size of softballs. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? No, okay, I'm sorry. So, do you ever go Canadian bowling? The balls are softballs. Do you know what Americans would do if they went bowling and the balls were softballs? My brother would tell you, because when my brother was given that, he fucking played softball like he was pitching and threw the ball 8 feet in the air. That's what fucking happens. And then I went on a first date that was bowling. Like when I moved to the Bay Area in 1996, this girl, we got together and she said, I want to go bowling. And she had her own fucking bowling ball. That was weird shit, man. They both were really fun things to do. I got to tell you, they both were a lot of fun. Oh man, it's hard. I think they were both really fun. If I had to pick one, I like the onion rings in bowling alley. So I'd say, even though I probably wouldn't want to eat that on a first date unless it wasn't going well. So I do like the food in the bowling alley better. Although usually when you go play mini golf, there's other fun things like arcade games and skee ball, and I like to show off in skee ball. It's a family thing. It's in our blood. My dad grew up in Coney Island, so we're all good at skee ball. Maybe I'd pick mini golf because then I could win her a prize or something. You know what I mean? Like I go play the games and win those little tickets. But that's a good question, man. Come up with the best questions. Germany, UNB. And pure adrenaline funny sport. That's very flattering. Thank you. Well, I love your show too, so we could be each other's supporters forever. And I can't wait to collaborate with you, Payo Time. I can't wait till everybody meets you. Hopefully they've already met you a little and checked out your channel. And you've been on my channel a little bit, so hopefully everybody saw you. But when we do the draft together or whatever, when you're ready, we'll have a good time. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be like the connection. Boom. Finally, everyone's been waiting for Payo Time and Chaos with Jeremy meet for our collaborative draft. The LA Rams and the New York Jets. They will also discuss the 2020 game that changed everything, that changed history. Trevor Lawrence did not become a Jet, and the Rams faced unbelievable, unbearable humiliation in a very important game battling Seattle Seahawks for the division. They lost to the Adam Gase New York Jets. And the big question is, who was more upset after the game? Was it the Rams who lost or the Jets who won? And that's the question. 1 million sub. You take the Carolina Ghost Reaper, put it in mace form, and have Lee spray your mouth with it. Then I'm on draft. Well, fuck it. Why don't I just take pepper spray and spray myself with pepper spray? Just have a draft. Who's on the board? I'll have my wife online, standing above me, telling me who's on the board. She'll be like, a guy named, oh, he has your name, Jeremy Ruckert. I'll be like, what? It's the first round. I can't take Jeremy Ruckert. Fun times. Jeremy, I feel like I know you. I think you do. The pandemic got me hooked on watching YouTube videos. I blame Green Bean completely. Yeah, Green Bean wasn't the first one I found. It was O'Leary, and those were more of the videos, the the ones where you don't participate. And what happened was I lost it, and I was like, "Where's that guy O'Leary? I want to watch his videos. I can't find it." And so I'm like, well, I forgot his last name. I'm typing Matt Jets, and it brought me to Jets 24/7 Tuesday show, and I said, "There he is." And then Green Bean was talking, and I said, "Oh, that guy's cool too. I like the beard." And then after I found O'Leary, like Green Bean kept popping up too, and I watched Green Bean, and I'm like, this guy's fucking crazy. He's like pulling up on a campground in a camper, and I was like, this is so weird. And he started talking about the first episode I remember him talking about was he was going off on Rich Cimini. He's like, let's do a ban Cimini, fuck Cimini. We got to get this guy, we're gonna ban you, like we're. And I was just like, this guy's awesome, and that was it. I was hooked on Green Bean, and then I started, and then, well, I won't tell all the stories right now, like how everything happened after that. But that's how I got hooked also on Green Bean and Matt and then Ryan. And, that was pretty much the start of it. What up, gentlemen? What up, Friggle D? Friggle D in the house. Love my guy, Friggle D. You probably already figured out Friggle D. Aaron Rodgers is not going to be a Jet. That was fucking bullshit because, as Green Bay would say, I'm an asshole. What do you say now, Peo time? What does Peo got to say? It's funny because I work with an office of mainly of all women who are not into football. And one day my coworker, was helping recognized me, and my 14 coworkers discovered my channel. Oh, that's amazing. That's what I think is going to happen. I think most of my coworkers know I have a channel, but they don't know that it's real or anything, or don't think about it. So if I ever got to 1,000, 2,000 users and a lot of people watching, and then they saw that, and they actually just saw, even now, I think it would be surprising to them if they saw the chat and everything, saying, holy shit, people watch him? Like, it's pretty real. And then I'm on, like, with Green Bean when he's like, when he's got like 180 to 220 people, and I'm on the show talking, and believe me, I'm pumped when I'm doing it. It's like an adrenaline rush when there's like 200 people out there, and you're giving a take, and Green Bean says, "Yeah, Jeremy, that's a great point. I agree with you." That's like, and then you got Gitmo Bob in the chat saying, "Great point, Jeremy," or Rusty saying, "Great point." It's like, it's pretty. You get hyped up, man. It's pretty cool. Long form is longer. Boy, am I behind in the chats, huh? Chopped liver and matzo ball soup. Yeah, man. Yeah, baby. I like corned beef and pastrami and all that good stuff too. But man, give me some chopped liver and matzo ball soup to start it off. I used to go into those delis, like Second Avenue Deli. I would always get the combo, except I wouldn't mix them together. I'd say, give me 1/2 chopped liver, give me 1/2 pastrami. And then I would always start with the matzo ball soup in the beginning. Except the mushroom barley soup is also really freaking good. So it's like, as much as I love matzo ball soup, I wish they would sometimes. So, I should ask one day. Will you put a matzo ball in my mushroom barley soup, and then I get the best of both worlds? Improv. How long do you do the aristocrats? We did. Me and my brother have improvised for years. And Adam Watts, who K99 is the only guy who actually heard of one of the theaters. There's a franchise of theaters around the country called Comedy Sports. They do short form, like Whose Line Is It Anyway? And Adam knew about the team in Richmond. And it's funny because I performed with the Richmond guys in North Carolina. So I did Comedy Sports in Sacramento. The theater closed now, but I did the most shows there. I was there for 3 years, performing almost one show a weekend for 3 years. I was a Village Idiot. That was my brother Matthew's troupe. And I did that for a while, and we performed a lot in Raleigh. And I did Comedy Sports in Raleigh, and I did San Jose a little bit. Like I was in a couple of shows in San Jose. And I had my own troupe in DC called the Yes Anders. And I was it wasn't mine. I wasn't the owner of it. I was the artistic director, which made my brother Matthew pretty proud, I think, because my brother runs the Village Idiots, and he was always the artistic director. And I think he was pretty proud of the fact that I became the artistic director. It was kind of cool. And my other brother became the director of a troupe too. So we all made it to more than just performers, but people who taught improv. We've been on an overpay baby Q 1.5 times. I know it's true. I don't want to overpay anyone, dude. Overpaying people is not a good thing. It kills a team when you get locked down with the money, and then you have to start cutting players. You can't keep your players. There could be a wide receivers that will be cut as we get closer to free agency. Yeah, definitely. There's going to be people cut. And there's going to be bargain trades. There's going to be teams, because there's more teams in cap space trouble than there are in cap space opposite of trouble. This is going to affect player salaries. There's going to be an opportunity, like how we got Moses by waiting and being patient, and we got him for freaking $4.5 million. There's going to be opportunities out there to bring in some decent players. So don't be mad at Joe Douglas when he doesn't jump right away and we have some extra money that he saves. Because you got a team like the Saints who have to get rid of $55 million. Dude, how are they going to get rid of that? They're going to have to cut so many players, or they're going to have to trade them for draft picks. I'm telling you, there's going to be opportunity for us to pick up a lot of players because of the cap space struggles that teams are having. So it's going to be pretty exciting. I don't want us to jump and spend our money right away and just throw it all on one player. Everybody we should be patient. We should be patient unless there's a deal and a player out there that we just can't do without. And I trust JD. He'll make that decision. If you were an NFL head coach, what was the first thing you do say when you have your first team meeting? Well, I guess I would treat it if that would be the same if you asked me if I took over a school as a principal. If I walked into a school as principal and I would call a staff meeting, and the first thing I would do is I would get somebody else, because I'm dyslexic, to walk up to a whiteboard with a marker, and I'd say, we're going to do 2 different exercises. You're going to tell me everything you like about working at this school, everything that you think works, everything that you think makes us an effective school, everything that makes you happy, everything that's good about this school. And then I would tell them, now I want you to say all the different things that you'd want to fix in this school, all the growths, all the opportunity to be better. What would change here that would make this school better? And I would have that person write all those things down. So we'd look at all the positives and we'd look at all the negatives. And then we would talk about all the negatives and why. Why is that policy in place that you don't like? Why is it like that? What is the problem? Is it fixable? If it's not fixable, because a lot of people think it's money. Oh, we need more money to fix that. But is it? And then I would go into my inquiry stage and I would ask. I would say, how have you addressed this problem? What have you tried? Is there a system in place? So I guess I would do that in an NFL locker room. I'd say, just name any random team. If I walked into the Jacksonville Jaguars, I would say, what sucked about last year? Don't just say Urban Meyers. I want details. Give me the specifics about what sucked. What is wrong with this team? Why were you losing? What was your complaint? Everybody be honest. What was the problem? But first, I'd start with the positive. What do you love about being a Jaguar? If it was the Jets, what do you love about being a Jets? What do you not like about being Jets? So that's my answer. That's the first thing I would say. We need to resign Berrios. Resign. I always read it as resign. We need to resign him. We need to get him out. No. Yeah, we do, but we can't overpay. We can't pay him $1 billion. If he wants to be paid like a top 10 slot receiver, he's not a top 10 slot receiver. But I pay him real. But the special teams thing is worth some money. Like, it's not like valueless. He was very good on special teams for us. I like him a lot. I really want him to be a Jet, but he has to do it reasonable money. And I'm thinking it's going to take. I think it's reasonable to say $7 to $8 million, 2 years guaranteed, a third team option with like $2-3 million guaranteed that year, like that we would take as a hit if we didn't pay him. Like, I think something like that is reasonable. I don't see how we can go higher than that. I honestly don't, especially with Kyle Phillips in the draft. Elijah will be special. Unfortunately, the Mims pick has set us back a bit at wide receiver, and the progression of Berrios softens that blow. Yeah, the Mims thing is a step back, guys, because we went into the one thing I thought we left to 2020 with was, well, we have a left tackle, we have a defensive tackle, and we have a wide receiver. And there's this guy, Bryce Hall, I really like that might work out. That's what I was thinking. And Marcus May is an okay safety. Like, I was like, okay, we have one of the safety spots sold, and CJ's coming back. So they're like 6. Now we're up to 6, right? There were 6 things. So to lose any of them suck. And now we got this whole freaking thing with Becton being overweight, the stat attitude. So we got to deal with that shit. Mims is pretty much done, right? Like, anything will just be a pleasant surprise if he ends up making the team and doing something. So it sucks. We lost a third of what we thought we had. 33% of what we thought we had. 2 out of the 6. And guess what? May got hurt and he's done too. Half done. Over. Sucks. And then Quinnen Williams didn't take the step forward that we hoped he did. Right? He didn't. He's good, but he didn't take the step that we were hoping for. We thought he was going to break out and justify the number 3 pick, and he didn't. He did not do that. I'm not saying we're not going to re-sign him or try to re-sign him. I'm just saying he didn't do it. And isn't it funny that Braxton Berrios, the guy we didn't talk about, progressed and ended up being the guy we're screaming about re-signing now? That's nice. And Bryce Hall definitely worked out. Whether he's going to be the QB1 or whether he's a shutdown, it doesn't matter. He worked out. He was a 5th-round pick, and he was a shitloads better than he was year 1. Year 2, he was shitloads better. I mean, he was much better than we thought he was going to be. I don't know what that means in the long run for him, but Bryce Hall is certainly happy he's a Jet. Certainly happy we made that pick. And then our young guys that came in were hits. The 21 draft was a big success so far. Big success. I don't see how we could be any happier. I preach caution with Ridley. The best years he had on the other side. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's more than just that, too. We got to do caution because we just don't know what the issue is. Anytime a guy walks away from his team, I'm not saying he did it because he's an asshole or because he's selfish. He has problems, but we don't know what those problems are. We don't know how much it's going to hurt us. If we don't know what the risk factor is in grabbing a guy like that. Martha's Box, greetings from Germany, but must go to bed because the first little bit of my alarm goes up at 6 a.m. Thank you for coming by. I hope you watch the replays. And man, it's fun to have somebody from Germany here. Get a lot of guys from Ireland. I didn't know I had anybody in Germany, but thank you so much for watching. And I'll try to do earlier shows on Saturday mornings. I'm going to try to do drafts with other football guests from other teams. I'm going to try to make that happen on Saturday mornings. So hopefully you can join us live for that. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. We're not in any position to trade first-round picks. Pick 1 in the first round, big money, not yet. Need to have the driveway completed before we get supercars. Can't be greedy. Yeah, I want our first-round picks, man. I want to get some great players. What is the Aaron Rodgers nonsense? Haha. So that was me making a point about clickbait. Like, I started the video by saying, of course, we're not getting Aaron Rodgers. But you notice how fast it gets people's attention and people click on it when they see it. And I'm trying to just sell it, make everybody understand that we have to stop reading the garbage that's out there. except for when I do it, because when I do it, there's a purpose and a point. But so when you see me do something, I'm allowed to do clickbait because there's a reason. It has nothing to do with trying to be like those guys. Yeah. If Barrios leaves, we better draft Phillips and then yeah. Well, according you say that you're like 90% on it, so yeah, I hooked another one, guys. I hook them. Jeff Sanders, clickbait, auto block, deuces. I don't know what that means. Does that mean he's gonna auto block me? I don't know. I'm not knowledgeable with those kind of things. I may have just had a guy auto block me forever and never give me a chance. But that means he didn't listen to what I was saying because I was being very clear that I was just trying to make a point. Jeremy ate shrooms live. Easier to juggle Canadian bowling balls. That's true. That's true. It's fun to juggle Canadian ball. Mini golf is better because you get to sink your ball. Brother, onion rings are yummy, but they make you. Yeah, that's true. I love them with ketchup, though, man. I could just cover them. Green bean hooked you. My niece is here. Hey, Uncle Jeremy. Hi, Leah. That's my niece. That's my baby niece, guys. My youngest of all my nieces. Let me look. None of the other nephew and nieces are here, right? Hey, Leah, you're my favorite. You're my favorite. I like you better than my nephews and my nieces. You're my favorite. Don't tell any of them, though. But you're my favorite. Leah sings and plays the guitar. She's very talented. She's my niece. She makes me very proud. At Rusty Spooner, damn, bro. I haven't done shrooms since the 80s. I haven't done it since college. Robert Woods may be cut. Would love to have him if he comes back healthy. You think Robert Woods might be cut? All right. Remember, you got to pour some hot sauce on his shroom. J. Cole in the house. What up? Giddy bibidi babibi hidi abibi abibi. You crazy? So what I'm doing, J. Cole, what's that? How do you like that for chaos, huh? Me claiming that we're gonna get Aaron Rodgers. Huh? Just to get everybody to click on it and watch the video. How do you like that? Now, I know you appreciate that. I'm crazy, man. You're into that stuff. Yeah, that's wild shit. I hook people, man. I put the hook in people. Last night, you should do them again soon. All you need is a gram or a cap, and you'll have the blast again. At Ali. I didn't know what I was getting into. I was like in college, and they were like, "Oh yeah," we ordered like from this Italian restaurant on campus from our meal balance cards. So I'm in Long Island. This is Stony Brook, and I get my chicken parm hero, and they're like, "Yeah," and they have this little bag for each of us, and they pour the bag onto my hero, right? And you put it in the hero, and I said, even you couldn't cover up the taste. Like even on a hero, it was freaking foul as hell, and I ate the whole hero, and these idiots didn't tell me that you don't need your first time to take that much. Like it was so much more than what was necessary. So I gotta show this. Yeah, I'm her favorite uncle. Go to hell, Lee. Lee sucks. Lee sucks. Lee sucks. Lee sucks. So anyway, should she be listening to this, Matthew? Is it okay that I'm saying this? I was in college, Leah. Well, she's in college. Oh shit. I didn't turn out well, Leah. You don't want to be like me. Anyway, I ate this hero and we watched the movie. We were watching this movie, Steven Seagal, Under Siege. Okay. Now, when you watch the movie Under Siege, under the influence of mushrooms, you start to have conversations with your fraternity brothers that this shit is real, man. Like that really happens. Like if you go on a ship, like the chef could be like Navy SEAL. His real mission is to protect the captain. He's listening to what people are saying. He's there undercover. Like it's real. This is the shit that goes on in the Navy. And they stab you. Like if you want to be a Navy SEAL, they stab you in the stomach and they put a knife in you. And then they throw you into the ocean or something. And you got to swim to this island and survive. Like this is the shit you start talking about when you're Sherman. And you... And so anyway, we're sitting in this room and we're watching this movie. And he goes, yeah, he goes, I'm just a insignificant cook, a cook. So of course, me and my friend Murder doing that to each other. Insignificant cook. He's just a cook. And in the hallway, it's all loud and everything. And two girls come up to the suite room door. So it's like the suites are like, you have this one main room where we're watching the movie and three bedrooms of two, right? So there's six people in a suite. And you have like a bathroom with like, oh no, what? Yeah, bathroom with like two stalls and a shower, whatever it was. And happens to be one of the girls is in my math class. And she's like, this girl I've been like since my first day at the college, right? And like, never had the guts to go up to her, but she knows me because she once talked to me, but I was too much of a pussy to talk back to her. Like she was saying, this is hard, right? It was like inviting me to do homework with her. Hey, let's do it homework. Let's help each other. But I chicken. So anyway, there she is with a friend who's also very attractive. Me and my friend Keith are sitting there. Mert's got a girlfriend. He's sitting on the side. And Keith goes, oh shit, look at those girls. And I'm like, holy shit, that's the girl I told you about from my math class. He goes, dude, go up there, right? So I walk up to the door. Now I'm tripping. And all I hear her talk is, you know, in Charlie Brown, when the parents talk, they go, I want, and you don't know what they're saying. Well, that's what these girls were saying to me. Like, I'm convinced of it to this day that they made a joke that they were going to talk like Charlie Brown, like the parents, because it was, I want. I didn't know what they were saying. So I'm standing there by the door. The door's open, and they're saying, I want, and smiling. And what do? I say, no thanks, and slam the door. Boom! Slam the door in their face. And I walk back to the couch, and my friend Keith looks up at me and goes, dude, what the fuck did you just do? Are you fucking crazy? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, those girls just said they wanted to come in and hang out with us. He goes, they literally asked if they can hang out, and we're asking what you were doing, and you just slammed the door in their face. And Mert is on the floor. He's punching the floor laughing, right? And he's looking at me and goes, you're a boss. You are a boss. He goes, you just slammed the door on those girls. You don't need anybody. You just showed them that you don't give a shit. And I'm like, what? This is a true story. Okay, and the lesson is don't do drugs, people. Don't do drugs. Because that's what happens when you do drugs. I tell all my nieces and nephews that you are my favorite, right? I do that, and then on the same thing, I'll like copy in my brother and say, how do you block this from other people so they can't see it? You were so confused. Yeah. I did it as a lesson. J. Cole. That's why you should never always got to. It's a thing we teach our high school students. So you were just in high school. Never, always check your sources. You got to check Donovan West, right guard from Arizona State, Jeremy. You'll smile watching him. Been a starter since freshman year and multiple spots too. Okay, man. We'll put him on Rusty's Diamonds. Hopefully he'll have some tape. Put that in the comment. Remind me of his name, Donovan West. Okay, because Wednesday we got a show in 3 days, dude. We got the Rusty Diamond segment will live on. Even Greenbean was blown away by it. No shrooms in front of the niece. Well, I'm not doing shrooms now. I'm talking about this was 1992. That's when that happened, 92. So we're talking about 30 years ago. Personal question. Do you have any hobbies or activities like collecting cards, comics, bird watching? Well, my hobby was improv. Like improv was pretty intense hobby. It was every Sunday, 2 to 3 hours of workshop, a Friday or a Saturday night of doing a show. I used to collect baseball cards. My brother is giving me, he's moving. My old Lee is moving. So he's giving me all of his baseball cards. I offered to get rid of them and sell them all and give him half the money. And he's insisting I could take all the money. I'm like, at least let me buy you. I'll get him a gift or something if it's a lot of money. And I'll get Matthew a gift too, because it's not fair that I would get it all. But anyway, I used to collect baseball cards. Matthew is a comic guy. And I guess bigger brother, I used to tag along and think I like comics too. So I bought some comics when I was a kid. Would go to comic stores with Matthew. But I think that this is my hobby now. I mean, this is not my livelihood, right? So would this be considered a hobby, like YouTube and making videos and stuff? Because I don't do just these videos. I was doing cooking videos in the kitchen, like how to make this food videos. Like entertaining is like my hobby, right? Finding different ways to reach audiences, and like this just became the one that kind of hit, But I also like playing sports when I can, like I play with my kids in elementary school, like at dismissal. I take a group of kids who play football out front that are not allowed to. So I created a football club where I take them back inside. Well, because it's like their parents don't come for like the high school releases 40 minutes after we release. So a lot of these kids are waiting 40 minutes every day. So instead of having them sit on the bleachers and say, you can't throw the football, I take them inside to our field on campus. And I've been like designated quarterback playing football with them. Like, I don't know if that counts as hobbies, but I do all those kind of things. I play video games a little bit. I play a game with Matthew. Every once in a while, we meet up and play. Me and my wife are playing a game on PS called It Takes Two. So I do a lot of different things. I like to cook. That's a hobby, I guess. You know how I like to eat? That's a hobby. But this is the most time-consuming thing I do outside of work, this YouTube stuff. So, J. Cole, you did it when you were 17 with his group. My brother talked about how important they are. You talked about how important trees were? Okay, at one point, by the way, of that night, we went outside and were screaming at other people in the dorms, get out of your boxes. Stop participating in this experiment. Okay? The experiment was let's put these 18 to 21-year-olds under tremendous pressure, give them shitty food to eat. Good for the brain. Okay, yes, sir. We're gonna all talk about why shrooms are good. Jeremy, all my friends and family are talking about our strains. That's awesome, dude. Get them to sub to my channel, dude. I need the subs, dude. Get me up in the subs. I want the name too. Like I want the URL to be the name of the channel, not that bullshit stuff, letters that don't make any sense. There's a lot of things. I want 500 subs because I get a community thing where when you go onto your YouTube to the homepage, there could be community messages that you'll get from me. So like yesterday, I won't have to put out a video saying I'm on Jet Nation. There'll be like a message that says I'm on Jet Nation. It's kind of cool. Matthew wants gifts. Matthew wants gifts. I don't know what that's from. So far behind in the chat. I do have a degree in hotel restaurant management and is a mad chef. I don't consider myself a good chef only because it seems like Jocelyn's the only one that likes the food I cook. So, my students are elementary school. They better and I write not for kids, so they better not be watching the stream. And it's okay if my principal is. I mean, I live in California. It's like I'm talking about something I did 20 years ago in college. I'm not really worried about it anymore. My principal went to Berkeley. Okay, enough said. I'm in education. When I meet a teacher that hasn't smoked pot, I'll let you know. Cool, man. I collect comics and cards. My collections are worth around $50K. Holy shit! Leaving it to my nephews and her. It's cool. Hey, I used to we used to buy we bought like 10 copies of Battlestar Galactica when they first came out, thinking it would be worth money. I don't know where they are, but Matthew, you remember that? Dad bought like 10 copies and we put it in plastic. I wonder where they are and if they're worth any money. Over 100 subs, you can change the link name. I can change it? Okay, John, we got to talk. I've been waiting for it to happen. You're telling me that I could change it? I thought that they do it automatically. I could change the link name? Holy shit. Nobody told me that. Jesus. Jeremy, we're a great duo. We were very good. You were very good, J. Cole. You were great. You actually made me the calm one, though. You put me out of my normal thing. Like I had to be the one to bring you down and keep you focused, I mean, you were getting up, getting off camera, changing outfits 3 times a minute. Like I was just trying to keep up with you and keep you calm and keep everything going. But I liked it. It's very rare someone can make me the calm one. But birds of a feather stick together. What do they say? Like you're as crazy as me, J. Cole. What I like about you is I did name the show NFL Chaos, and sometimes I have to make sure that we're bringing in some chaos, right? So you are chaos, my friend. You're chaos. So that's the good thing. It's like you definitely bring in some chaos because you were chaos. Yeah, I like the original Battlestar Galactica. I haven't watched the new one yet, but I always get lag behind those things. And when my brother likes something, and my nieces and my family like something, and then I finally watch it, I always love it. I'm always behind them by so much. So I'm sure I'll love the new Battlestar Galactica if I ever get to it. But I'm an Apollo Starbuck when I guess Apollo had the black hair and Starbuck was that guy that looks, the brownish hair, and the Cylon was the robot with the one eye. And there was that episode where they shoot, he gets stuck on the planet and then they have like a duel. Remember that one? And what else? Oh, and the guy with the funny head with the digital robot that would say, by your command. That's the Battlestar Galactica I knew and loved. Yes, I changed mine and I'm at 125. Okay, so you're going to teach me how to change it. I went into the studio, man. I don't know how to do anything on that channel. Like, I don't know how to do things. And I tried. Usually it's more intuitive. There's nothing said change name of you or change URL. But that's bullshit. I'm at 240 subscribers and I still have a jumbo name. I asked Frankie and he didn't even answer. Somebody tell Frankie he should answer me when I send him a text message. What the hell? Just because we don't do a show together anymore, suddenly he can't answer me when I ask him a question? What's the matter with you, Frankie, if you see this? Everybody, when you're on his show, say, I want you to do this, Bismo. Wherever watches Frankie. And I love Frankie. You know, guys, I love Frankie, right? I'm telling you, if you don't know Frankie, subscribe to his channel. Okay? But, yeah, people don't know that. Like, we did a show together for a long time. The only reason I left was because I couldn't stay off his channel. Like, he gave me power to be on live, and he didn't want that. And I realized, then I got to do my own channel because I can't help myself. I want to be on. So why I can't be on somebody else's channel and not have that power when all I have to do is do my own channel, right? So it wasn't like this. There's no badness out of this, right? Now we both have a channel, but I still love his channel and support him, and I watch him and I learn from him. But it would be funny if in the chat you ask him, Jeremy asked you how to change the URL to his channel. How come you didn't answer him? Like, I want to know why he didn't answer me. And I want something better than I'm busy in the studio. That's his answer to everything now. I'm busy in the studio. Give me an answer, Frankie. I did shows with you for what, 3-4 months? Every Monday, every Friday. If I ask you how you got your URL, find the time and answer my question. God darn it. Depending on the quality, Battlestar Galactica #1 is worth $15 to $25. I think they're all mixed in my collection. Okay. Well, they're not yours, bitch. Dad bought them for all of us. He bought 10 of them. 3 of those are mine. 3 of these, 3 are yours, and 1 we could cut up into 3 pieces. They were 35 cents when we bought them. No. I'm going to find out that they're not, that it was really Matthew's money or something, and I've been wrong all these years. I remember I have them also. Oh, fracking great. It's worth watching. Okay, I'm going to watch it. The Big Ministries was perfect. The show started. I can't post it. I'm trying to catch up in the chat, so I'm just reading through. We had a sex ed teacher in the 70s who was a comic in the Catskills on the weekends and would try out his new dirty material on us. That's hysterical. That's so funny. I grew up my summers in the Catskills, and I had a house in the Catskills. Well, I had a house in Sullivan County, and but man, is it different now. I mean, we sold that house in 2016. We had a house upstate in near Monticello, Smallwood, and man, did that Kutcher's and like the Concord, it all died out. But now it's coming back to life. They opened up a full casino there where the Concord used to be. But all the great comedians used to be along that strip. All the great comedians used to perform. They used to call it the what they call it, the Borscht Belt or something. Yeah, but I went to camp for years. My friend was in the bungalow colonies every summer. We used to go up there. Those were the days. They rushed the last season just like Game of Thrones. Well, that's a spoiler. I don't want to read that. No, okay, no, agree. Okay, so every show's final season sucks. I'm convinced. He's a clown. He has me blocked on Twitter. Oh, let's not call him names. Come on. John, you get so mad. I think it's a mistake. I don't think Frankie's mad at you, John. I think that must be a mistake. Why would he block you on Twitter? Did you have a fight with him? Did you say anything? I mean, Frankie does have he has his lines in the sand. Like if you said something offensive to someone or something, I never knew you to say anything offensive to anyone, so that's kind of a ridiculous thing for me to say. Because when have you ever said anything offensive? I don't know, man. I don't know. Did you try to promote any gambling sites on his channel? He doesn't like that. If he talked about gambling sites, that's not a good thing. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. No, we never had a beef. Then it's a mistake, dude. If you never had a beef, then it's a mistake. Why would Frankie block you? Like it must be a mistake. Why don't you just ask him? Say, hey, how come you blocked me on Twitter? Like it's got to be a mistake. Frankie doesn't. He's not going to just single someone out and like. Dude, Frankie seemed like the guy to you to just pick somebody for no reason and like block them. Why would he do that? Some people get upset easily. I don't think so. I don't think he gets upset easily like that. Like I think that Frankie gets upset if I think Frankie is very ethical. Like he's a very moral person. So somebody did come on the show once and they said something racist. They said something anti-Muslim, anti-Arabic or something about Salah. And Frankie blocked them right away. And I agreed with it, right away. I said, okay. And I respected that. Like, and he said, and we talked about it. He said, I will never allow that. He goes, I will never sell out for that kind of thing. I'll never have people be racist or say racist things or inappropriate things in my chat. He goes, it's going to be like kind of like we both have the same philosophy there. The chat should be a safe place. So I don't think John did that. I know John didn't do that. I know John didn't do that because I know John. So I would think that it's a mistake. I almost blocked somebody from YouTube here, right? I was trying to block spam and I thought I blocked Tom Bon Jovi. I said, holy shit. I fucking love Tom, and I think I just blocked him forever. I was like gonna lose my mind. I was like, I just blocked Tom Bon Jovi, and I was like, I was gonna cry. So, and then I realized I didn't because I didn't know how to unblock. That's what I was afraid of. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to unblock him, and he thinks I blocked him. I was gonna go down and cry to my wife. It's like he was my number 5 subscriber, and I blocked him. But I think that it's a mistake. I don't think Frankie would do that on purpose to you, John, if you guys didn't have beef or you didn't have a fight. I just don't think. You told him, Matthew? You told Frankie to block John? Why? Maybe it was a joke. Like it was like maybe he left you a Dear John letter and you just don't know. And that it was all a joke. You were supposed to read the Dear John letter and you just missed it. Maybe because I had you on my show. I'll ask him. No, he wouldn't be mad that I was on your show. No way. He's not like that at all. No, there's no way. There's no way he's mad at you for having me on your show. Like I can't. We get along, dude. I'm backstage with him with Green Bean. Like me and Frankie are fine. Like he's not gonna be mad at anybody for being. I go on his channel and watch his show when I have time. I admittedly don't watch and participate in his chat as much, but that's because I'm freaking busy as hell with this. And like the times I'm not doing my channel, I got to be with my wife. I could barely do like Tuesday Talk with Ryan and Matt and Green Bean. I could barely be in that anymore. That's why you don't see me chatting in there anymore. I have to do Wednesday, I do my Wednesday show. Thursday, I do my backstage show with Green Bean. I'm backstage. And then sometimes I come on. But I'm never going to not do that for him because the guy is like built this whole thing for me. He's like my number one guy I'm in debt to or have not in debt because he doesn't expect me to do anything for him. But like I have just this incredible respect and gratitude towards Green Bean. And I will always try to help his channel above mine. Because as you know, he is trying to do this as his income so he can continue to do his thing with traveling around the country. So it means a lot more to me. I have a job. I'm fine in my life. Like it means a lot more to me, like to I want Green Bean's channel to be successful before anything else, because I want him to stay on the air. I don't want him to ever have to go back to working, a different type of job, and then we lose out and we're gonna not get as much Green Bean, right? So, anyway, that's why Wednesday is for me, Thursday's for him. I do the Friday show now. I'm pretty much on every Friday night. So I don't have a lot of time. I got, but I do watch Frankie's videos because I find some of them very informative. But he does not strike me as the type of guy that would purposely block you. I think so. I'm glad you're going to ask him. Hopefully you'll work it out. And if he has a reason, I guess you'll find out. And it's good to know, right? Maybe you work it out. Maybe it's a misunderstanding. But again, he's a good dude. So. Oh, you're saying people like patience, not Frankie. No, I got you, Joe. Yeah. Right. Because Frankie's not him. I mean, Frankie's a patient guy. So, but no, I got you. Sometimes it could be anything. We don't know. But I think it's an accident. I think that when you say, why'd you block me on Twitter? There's a chance that he's not even going to know he blocked you. I think there's a chance. And then I think there's a chance that maybe there was some kind of miscommunication. Maybe something got to him that's not true. Maybe it's something that just needs to be cleared up, because I know you, John. Like, you're not the kind of person that anybody would block. I mean, you're very mellow, easygoing, nice guy. I mean, so I can't imagine what could have happened there. Me and Frankie don't go on because we disagree on DVOA. Yeah, I don't know if you disagree as much as you think. Okay, so here's the thing. I think that, like, when you guys had the big argument, and then I think we had a misunderstanding too, Gitmo, because I didn't mean to attack you either. I was defending the fact that Frankie uses those stats as a tool, and he does say this is just one tool, right? Now, there is one thing I'll agree with, like one thing that I called him on once. I said, yeah, but you just said Jeremy's CJ Mosley's not any good. His PFF rate. And I said, wait a second, you're the one that said it's just a tool. So I'm telling you that PFF is wrong when it comes to CJ Mosley. And that even though they seem to hate him, my eye tells me that he's not that bad. And he said, okay, that's true. So I think that there has to be some care taken, because sometimes, there was moments of, this is just a tool, but then he would say things like as if it was true or false based on some of that data. But for the most part, I think he was it's like in that one video, he said it's only 2 weeks. Like, he said that. He said it's only 2 weeks. And he said it might change. But that was a whole misunderstanding. But like, I think, yeah, he's more about data. And you are more about your eyes and what you see. And I never used data before. But then again, I never tried to rate offensive linemen and defensive linemen. I just went by what I was told. Like, if they were all pros, that meant they were good. If they were guys that people would talk about needing to replace because they sucked, they suck. So I would just listen to what the announcer said, what the newspaper articles would say, which scares me now because that's, the beat. But I would just go by what was out there, word on the street about a player. Look at this, the stripes of the window blinds. I'm a zebra. Anyway, yeah, I don't know, but Gitmo, I like the idea of just, I don't know. I don't know if you watch his videos though anyway and just don't chat, or if you just don't watch his videos anymore. I don't know. But I don't think that he thinks it's the Bible, like it's all telling when he looks at that data. But he definitely might use it as an influence to his opinions and his takes more than others. And you might not see it eye to eye because of that. You're usually on my show on Thursdays and Sundays also. It's a lot of work. Yeah, I forgot about that. But yours, it's a little easier because you make it pretty easy, John. I just sign in and I do it. What it makes it harder, I'll admit, what makes it harder about Thursday is Thursday I come home from work and I have to do a town hall video for my school every week. So I have all this video that I got to put onto the Apple, to the Mac, and go into iMovie and like edit and put into a town hall. So what I do now is I come home from work, I rush home to make it home by 4 to be on your show. I do your show, I jump onto Green Bean, I stay backstage, I do that show, and then at 7 o'clock I eat dinner with my wife, and then I just take at night I do the town hall video, and then I go to bed. That's my life on Thursday. Thursday's not an easy day, but the good part about it is when I wake up the next day, it's Friday. So there's that. And then I love Fridays. Happy for Green Bean, he'll hit over 500. Yeah, it's great that he's over 500. I honestly think because people don't realize, like they look, oh, like there are people at 10,000, there's someone at 15,000 to 6, whatever it is. Understand that Green Bean had only started his channel a little over a year ago. So 5,000 is just absolutely incredible. If you can get to 1,000 subs in a year, that's amazing. Like 1,000. Like if I by next November, by next Thanksgiving, if I got to 1,000 subs, that's a party, dude. That's like such a celebration. It's such a great accomplishment. I would be thrilled. Like doing jumping jacks. The man got close to 5,000 in a year, and now within 13 months got to 5,000. It's incredible. And what my point in that is, mark my words, it might take a year, it might take 2 more years. He will be the king of the mountain. Green Bean will be number one. He will have more subscribers than more than almost any team YouTube content provider there is. Like he's going to get up there with the guys like from San Francisco, that one guy. The one person that I think is uncatchable is Tom Grossi, who does Green Bay and all NFL watch parties and stuff. He's uncatchable. Maybe he's not uncatchable, but I think he might be uncatchable. He has like 250,000 subscribers. I mean, that is absolutely off the charts insane. He does watch parties and has 2,000 people watching. Like it's absolutely off the charts. I don't know what he did. Maybe he's been doing it for 5-6 years. I don't know. He's good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not one of these guys that says that he's not good. This guy, Tom Grossi, is good. Okay? He's really, really good. He's really funny. He's a really great dude. He's like a super nice guy, even though Green Bean didn't know it, but because he rated Green Bean's channel and Green Bean didn't know he was trying to be a good guy. But Tom Grossi at halftime, when he's doing like a Sunday football game, at halftime, will have his chat. He'll put up the link to somebody else's channel, like a smaller channel, and he'll tell everybody to do a Grossi raid, like the Grossi posse. But what he tells them is to sub to their channel, to like the video, to like the stream, and sub to the channel. And he sends people in there, and sometimes it's like 100 people, and they're like Grossi raid, and you can get. I haven't watched. I watched enough of them live. But I watched one guy go from like 850 subscribers to like 978, 980. Like he was getting close to 1,000 because of it. And also I seen him go into people's, like when he went into Green Beans, when he raided Green Jet Nation and we didn't know what was going on, some of them were donating money. Grossi raid, $10. But anyway, I'm just talking about it because it blows my mind. Like when you say wild fantasy, when Peo said wild fantasy, to be as big as Tom Grossi, but I don't know how it's possible. Like I have no comprehension of how this dude did it, because he is as big as any content provider. I didn't even dream a content provider can get that big. The guy has 250,000 subs. It's absolutely ridiculous. Rodgers coming to Jets. No, Jets gang. Rodgers is not coming to the Jets. I was giving an example of clickbait and what the beat does and how they get us to click on their links. But he's not coming to the Jets. Sorry about that. It looks like I hooked another one. See, I didn't do it for my own personal gain. I was just trying to make a point. Is that a wink? Hold on. Okay. Well, I never claimed that the Panthers were going to be to the Super Bowl after playing the Jets, Texans, and Jags. It just never made sense to me. And I'm a nuclear engineer and I know numbers. Hey, yeah, man. Look, I totally respect not agreeing with the numbers. I totally respect it. But at least he doesn't go on and say this is fact. He doesn't do that. But he lets those numbers influence his takes more than he does you. There's no question about it. Yeah, I hooked Jets gang too. Yeah, he did. Oh, sorry, Jets gang. But hey, you're here now, right? Grassi is almost at 300K. It's fucking crazy, dude. Like, what the hell? And I'm not mad at it. People get mad. Why is he at 300,000? Why would I get mad at that? He's like the shining example of like do what you love and good things happen. I mean, the guy just does what he loves. He loves it. And what I love about him is very human. Like he's like not like it's just like he's not like blah, 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 blah. He's like holding his dog. He pets his dog. He does raids of other channels and he helps other people out. And he's like he does comedy where he imitates like a fan of every team after they lose. He does a lot of fun things. The guy is good. He's brilliant. Like to me, it's brilliant. Like if you can get to 300K, I don't know if there's a way to get to 300K unless you stab yourself, unless you're doing ridiculous things where there's not some genius to it. Like for him to get to that level, there's genius in that. Like whatever he did, there's genius in it. Because I'm sorry, it's just insane that he's at 300K. He has thousands of fans that are not Green Bay fans. When you see him, his whole room is Green Bay Packers, and he has thousands of subscribers that are not Green Bay Packer fans. Like how did he do it? I have no idea. And he's not doing anything crazy during the watch parties. He's sitting there talking and announcing the game and talking. But let me tell you, he's going 100 miles per hour. I mean, the guy is like, I know a fellow ADHD guy. He's ADHD like me because he is a mountain of energy. Other than milking a cow, what else is there to do in Wisconsin? But I don't think his user base is all in Wisconsin. He did that to Peo time. Yeah, he went from like 850 to 1,000. Yeah, he told me that. Peo told me that. I think it's so cool. It's like one of my that's not a fantasy, but that's like a little dream or goal of mine. I want to get to a point where me and Lee are doing a watch party and we get a Grassi raid. That would be so great. That'd make my day. I'd be so happy. Get my mom. Do you like big booth hoes? Oh, come on, J. Cole. Stop that stuff, man. You're doing it again. You can't stop, right? You can't be so Long Island teenager street in here, okay? He's a grown man. Gitmo's a grown man. He doesn't want to talk like that. I mean, you stop being a 19-year-old. That's what you do with your friends when you go to the diner, okay? Smack my mom's ass. Yo. We all did that. We were all 19. But come on, you doing it here? Come on, man. Stop that. I love the chaos, but not like that. Save the chaos for me when you're on the show, okay? You're a funny kid. He's a big kid too, so I don't want to ever piss him off either. You know what I mean? He's like, like he could have been like one of the guys in The Godfather in the suits at the father's wedding. Like when the press comes and the son breaks the camera and throws down the $100 bill. J. Cole could have played that part. He could have taken give me that camera, smash it, smack the press guy in the face, take a $100 bill out of his wallet and throw it down and walk away. That's so J. Cole. Okay. It's cool seeing Zach Wilson get ovation at the BYU game. Yeah, man. They love him there. They love him. He made them relevant, man. Their program sucked. Then Zach Wilson goes there, and within 2 years, they're like freaking ranked in the top 20. He never met his mother. I know, we never met his mother, but she was once almost on. He said that it was very close to like when he was on that she was going to come by, I think yesterday during the Senior Bowl party. Don't embarrass her, though. Don't talk about ass smacking or anything like that with your mom, okay? It's not allowed. Can't do that stuff. I can't believe I've been on for 2.5 hours. Are you kidding me? It's 3. What time is it? 3:30. I went on at 1 o'clock. Oh my God. That's crazy. I better get off. Okay. Anyway, thanks everyone. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Sorry if I misled you with that, but I was trying to make a point, and I was trying to get you all over here on a Sunday afternoon. How else am I going to do it? Clickbait, baby. Clickbait. Never forget it. I'm an asshole. Take care, everyone. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Take care, and I will be back definitely by Wednesday if I don't do anything before that. But Wednesday for sure, about 9:45 p.m. Take care. Have a great Sunday evening, and I'm sorry that tomorrow's Monday. A 1-15 team takes a running back. You just took your franchise quarterback. You had a running back. And I'd be pissed if I was a Jacksonville fan. I love that, talking about Green Bay. He'll never find out. Believe me, nobody knows better what it looks like when an organization is about to go to shit than a New York Jet fan. And Justin Fields proved that he can hold it together. He can regroup. It's okay if he struggles. And we got a big game against the Eagles, and maybe you need some energy, so wake up! We have every right to expect the Jets to win. Rich Cimini, schmuck, putz,